Man, oh man, look at that face. That is a face of pure accomplishment, and you know that you deserve it. And do
Wait, are
you
you talking about
have Roman
Charlotte or
Reigns?
Roman?
Do you have
Are you
Roman
talking
Reigns
about
in the
Charlotte or
crowd?
Roman? Because Roman looked like he just bust.
Yeah. Roman looked like he just took a shit. And he was like, make me king after that one, guys. Ooh.
Marcus, can I ask a question to you? Because I know you will relate to this. The crowning
Yes.
of Roman Reigns, is that like the crowning of Scar? Should we expect Pride Rock to go to shit now?
Well, if Pride Rock is Raw, then yes. But, it did look like a Scar kind of taking over Mufasa's throne. And I wouldn't mind a Timon and Pumbaa, like, resurgence for Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston.
And not to leave Charlotte out of this one, Charlotte's intro took just as long as Roman Reigns because she clearly could not walk in those shoes that she had on. It was like
No, they
baby
went to commercial
steps.
during our intro.
It was
They went
like
to
baby steps, baby steps.
They went to commercial, they went to the backstage segment, and then they had her in the ring. I was like, man, she been in this ring for like a minute just to talk shit about how Becky is fabricated. Oh,
I
there's
like
girl.
I like that whole
Yes.
thing, but we'll get to that when we do the review.
Yeah. Manny, there's your gravy right there. Tony Storr, right there. The Mystic came out there.
Even Charlotte knows. Even Charlotte knows in this picture. She's pointing at them thumbs.
Hey, Vince love his blonde, so this has to be ready for Royal Rumble right here. This ain't gonna be no throwaway match right there.
Mm-hmm. Nice
I like
see.
that they weren't featured the whole show. The hyenas, as I will call them, weren't on the show at all. And then they showed up when he did that coast to coast, semi coast to coast elbow drop.
Oh man, the New Day have to wear Lion King garb when they come out to Survivor Series. This is Scar getting the crowd with his hyenas, with Woods and Simba and Timon and Pumbaa. I mean, we got to get that route. By the way, it looks like he's holding his heart. This is the darkest episode of Game. This is like the darkest episode of Game of Thrones.
And we'll be back right after this.
Damn.
I gave you a little bit of it, Manny, but I'm not fully there yet. I'm not fully there.
Yeah! The greatest intro of all time.
I'm not there yet, but welcome everybody to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. I'm Eric.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And I'm Marcus the Grand Benetti.
And as J.K. Smush said, roses are red, violets are blue. Fuck Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Hart too. What a way to start off the show.
He just with him. That's his boy.
Association, that's harsh.
But he's always with him, so they have to have some same beliefs. If Hogan's going around talking about how much he hates black people, Jimmy can't be like, now Hogan, buddy, I don't think you need to be saying this, man. I don't think you need to be talking about black people, man. I think that's wrong, buddy. No, he's like, yeah, tell him, Hogan. Tell him. Get them niggas out of here. It's like, damn it, Jimmy.
Really, Marcus, we are not even 4 minutes into being live and we already dropped the N-word. I mean, before...
So does the other podcast.
And he dropped it in very high pitch as well.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
emphasis.
I was doing my best Jimmy Hart impersonation. Somewhere Jimmy Hart can't even sue me because he said it like that.
I feel like I need to take a moment of time and apologize to the listeners of last week.
Damn it.
Unfortunately, the show ended very abruptly last week because I wasn't feeling well. And instead of, letting my co-host know that I wasn't feeling well, I tried to push through and then I just abruptly ended the show. Afterwards, I was chewed out by the Lordship himself and a little bit of the grand finale about Don't fucking play around. Something to that effect. I'm not really sure what the words
Just
were.
hand the steering wheel over sometimes if you need to.
Yeah,
well, that's what we're there for.
Yeah, we are Jesus, and let us take the wheel.
So, in other words, translation, that one time where the person got me in a chat room that was ready to fight, I need to try to do that more when I'm not feeling well. So, based on me knowing how I'm going to feel in this episode, when we get time to preview Full Gear, I probably will throw it to Manny or Marcus to go over the card. Just because.
Wait. You're giving us a terrible segment to look
yeah,
after.
Yeah,
You're a horrible man.
Yeah.
Horrible man.
How dare you? How dare you? You're not going to go Full Gear for Full Gear? How dare you?
Nah, man, I can't. My gears are kind of broke. They didn't put that little graphic over my face, making everybody look like Thunder Rosa. Oh, it's El Luchador. Pop. I haven't seen him in the chat room in a long time.
He was here last week.
Well, was he? Okay, I don't remember much. Well, I guess.
Just a side note, I've seen El Luchador unmasked.
Manny, in what situation were you to see him unmasked? I'm concerned.
It was sexy time, Eric. Sexy time.
Okay. You know what?
It's a concept of project I'm working on.
You do you. Oh, yeah, you wouldn't let him wear the mask. That's hilarious.
No. He wore the mask for all 4 questions except the last one where he unmasked.
He is going to the bar tonight to watch Full Gear. I hope they're not charging a big cover charge because.
But I heard that going to watch an AEW pay-per-view in the movie theaters is a lot of fun, according to my friend Fred at work. He said going to there is really fun. It's like being at the event because the movie theater crowd is just as rowdy, it seems like, as the event.
How old is this man, Fred? I have never met a man called Fred that is above 50 years old.
Hey, he's probably 40 or something. I don't know. I'm not putting Fred. He might actually be younger than me, but he may look older than me. I don't know. He may watch this show and be like, damn, how can you say that? And I'm like 20. I'm like, fuck. God damn it, Fred. But, yeah, and, I looked it up in our area, in, the Long Beach tri-state area. I don't think we're called the tri-state at all. But, ticket prices for that, it's pretty sold out. It's pretty sold out in the theater. You can watch it for like $10 or something.
$10 for 5 hours. That's actually a pretty good deal.
It's a good deal. It's a good deal.
But your ass won't feel the same afterwards, man. Your ass will not feel the same.
Well, you need to stand your ass up.
As
Jungle Boy makes the save.
As it was said on the Untitled Manny and Marcus show a few weeks ago, one in the bum, no harm done.
Was that said?
Man, I don't know.
I don't feel like that was said weeks, maybe a year ago or some change.
It was said last week.
But we are doing enough talking. It is now time for the main event. We need to start talking about this show because we have so much to cover. So we might as well just need to jump in right into Friday Night Smackdown, where the show started off very similar to Monday Night Raw, where it clearly we don't know what Scrap Daddy, is it Adam?
Pac-Man Adam Jones.
Is it Adam Jones? I don't know which, because I got Adam
Daddy,
Cole.
Adam Pearce.
Adam Pearce. I couldn't remember his last name because I had so many Adams in my head. Where Adam Pearce instantly regretted who he put on a Monday Night Raw team, and so he decided to put Dominic in a match against Bobby Lashley he could have just gave it to Bobby Lashley. But then you have Sonya Deville, who's in the ring introducing the SmackDown women's team, and like literally she pinpoints Aaliyah as being a weak link when Sasha Banks come down to the ring with the Glow herself, Naomi, and it was one more other person she was with.
Huh? How confused where you're at, Aaliyah?
Because
Sashi Blackheart? I don't know.
It was only Sasha and Naomi that came down to the ring, and it somehow became a 6-woman tag. And Aaliyah got the first win in her 7-year career, but later on the show,
there was already 4 in the ring.
Yeah, it was 4 in the ring, but they brought Naomi down because she didn't make the team because of Sonya Deville. They don't answer those questions. But Aaliyah got her first win in her 7-year stint with WWE. Marcus, I turn to you.
It's her first primetime win. Her first SmackDown win. I think she snuck another win somewhere. And at Robert Stone brand, they won by DQ at one point. Against the tag team champions, I think.
Her first pinfall win, Marcus. It was a big deal, Marcus.
No, didn't she win on her last match at NXT when she had a hero send-off?
Yeah.
Where they went wild for Aaliyah.
Manny, and and I know that nothing counts in NXT. it don't mean shit when you get to the main roster. This was her first win in WWE right here, and I'm going to stand by it.
Well, you got to be happy for her. She got that win over Natty, in which this should have been a loser leaves the team, because Natty, for damn sure, don't need to be on another Survivor Series team. I don't know. I don't have the facts in front of me, but I'm sure Natty is 0 for 9. At least 0 for 9 on Survivor Series teams. I'm just saying.
I can't stand that, and I really only noticed something else happened this week. In that tag match, I was very perceptive to what I could hear, and all I could hear was Natty on the apron go, "Oh, oh!" I was like, "Oh."
I don't think I want to tolerate this Natty hate, but I will let it go. So later on the night,
Natty shouldn't be able to team up with what's her name? Shayna Baszler. She shouldn't be able to team up with
a better heart than Natty Nightheart.
Yeah, let's substitute her out. Anyway, Natty loses this match.
She does. But then, on top of that, Aaliyah loses something else. For whatever reason, Sonya is full of hell. She tells Aaliyah, oh, you're no longer on the Survivor Series team. But then she had to take a phone call. Then later on, she runs into Ali, who is trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do, but Ricochet, who is now dating Samantha Irvin, says,
why put his business out there? Why put his business out there? Bring that gossip.
He put his business out there.
He was drunk, clearly.
No, Marcus, he put his business out there. And quite frankly, everybody thought he was still dating Casey Cantazzaro. And so if you go into the comments, what happened to Casey? That's what everybody want to know.
Clearly it didn't work out and
Clearly
he moved on.
Up. But,
or maybe not. Maybe not.
So that's 2 weeks in a row Ricochet's been on SmackDown. Is he finally getting that push he deserves in WWE?
But hold on. No, let me tell you, this is why Ricochet has always been in catering. It's his comments to Aaliyah right here. Just accept it. Accept this mistreatment. Accept it. Don't argue. Don't complain. Be like me. Sit in catering. Get your paycheck. All right? Don't worry about anything. Yes, you were discriminated against for no reason. As Ali was pointing out, you are a person of color. It's clear Sonya Deville hate people of color. As she's attacking Naomi, she's kicked you off the team, and Ricochet's now on the show, and myself. Don't listen to Ricochet, who just back there like, just go with the flow, go with the flow. Ricochet deserves to be fired. He should have been fired with the rest of with this advice.
No, because he goes with the flow. That's why they keep him around. Because he's a yes man.
He'll be a yesin'. Just in a good mood because he done dumped Casey Catanzaro for that ring announcer lady.
I'm not trying to think about their sex life, man. I'm not trying to think about that. It's over, man. They can't flip it down. She can't climb up the pole no more into the bed. I mean, what can you say?
So climb! There was too much athletics going on.
By far, I know
I'm going to jump off the balcony.
I know we're going to preview Survivor Series next week. However, right now, the Women's Survivor Series teams are not shaping up to be the best teams going forward. I'm a little concerned about what's going on with this match because, once again, as you guys said, Natty's on the team. But then you go to the Raw team, it ain't much better. I was very disappointed that Bianca Belair has fallen out of grace because now she's feuding with Doudrop. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but how did you guys feel about Doudrop and Bianca? I mean, technically, Doudrop costed Bianca Belair her match again against Big Time Bex. I'll go to you first.
She's already had her opportunities.
4 times, according to Big Time Bex. 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. She lost 4 times.
Yeah, and it only makes sense that someone like Bianca Belair she's given the trust to actually boost other people. So this could be a good thing for both because they're giving Bianca the ball to play with. To like go help these other people while we do other things, and then you can come back into the title picture because we don't want a long-winded thing like we had with Drew McIntyre where he was constantly in the title picture and then we all got tired of it. I don't want to get tired of watching this chase go on forever.
So Marcus, yes, I say that Bianca Belair has fallen out of grace, but Manny made a good point of, hey, you know what? She could be in a better situation. But what do you feel about the rise of Liv Morgan though?
Liv Morgan? I just feel like it's just something to break the wrestling fans' heart. She ain't winning. It's just going to leave them all to complain later that Liv deserves better. Liv deserves this. Liv is just as good as Aaliyah in the ring. There, I said it. There, I said it, and I don't care how much hate I get. Shoot, Liv, I'm glad she's getting this opportunity to step up, to fight Becky, but it ain't about her. She ain't winning. She ain't dethroning big time Bex at this current stage of the game. Not happening. Not even coming close. And the fact that they, moved away from Bianca for a little bit, it's the right move because right now it's all about Becky and Charlotte. And I'm expecting controversy at Survivor Series. Controversy when those two women step in the ring together.
Okay, so what do you make of the, I think it was Sports Illustrated interview with Becky Lynch, where they asked about the relationship between Charlotte and Becky right now. And then Becky said that she doesn't really talk to Charlotte anymore. And in that moment, the locker room needed a hero, and she was happy to be that hero.
Manny, let me tell you something. When I think about it, I want to say that they're trying to bring kayfabe back. They're trying to keep this shit as real as possible because...
Oh, you think it's work?
No, but no.
It has to be, though.
Even if it's because you can't really work together if you really hate somebody that much. But even if they do hate somebody, it makes that match more of a must-watch match. If you really think that two people are going against each other that hate each other, come on, Marcus. Imagine if we hated Manny, people would just tune in every week to see the hate that we had for Manny. Come on,
I don't think that would happen.
I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, that's different. That's different. Now, if it was
another
YouTube show with 0 views, currently taught, maybe, but not against Manny. Manny's a likable character.
Until you get on his bad side.
But even Manny's bad side, his pettiness is also charming. Okay,
thank you, Marcus.
Something that came across my feed, and we're gonna get back to SmackDown. I'm feeling good.
I think you said your feet for a moment. I was like, for your feet.
What did you guys make of Keith Lee accusing WWE of not paying for his medical benefits, and then WWE saying, "Hey, we can take care of you. To send us what receipts you need." Pretty much. I mean, Marcus, what is this about?
It's Euronius. It's Euronius, as they said, Eric. Euronius. That's when you know that someone's really upset with that. Keith Lee said, what? So put Euronius in the century, because that means that's error, but extended, because we want to let him know he rolled. We take care of all our people with all our proper medical staff. How dare such a Keith Lee lie to us? Prove it. Prove it, Keith. Prove it. And Keith ain't gonna say nothing. Nobody gonna say nothing. Nothing's gonna come of this, I think.
Manny, I'm gonna let you continue to talk about Man U and the Jets, because you probably don't want to answer that question about Keith Lee, because you'll probably start talking slow like Keith Lee. So I think we should just jump back. I'll give Manny, I'll give you a better question. Kayla Braxton was in the back. She came up to the tribal chief with Paul Heyman, and I want to say this might have made me laugh so much. He was like, "You either here to acknowledge me or talk about how great I am."
But first, Eric, you've got to point out the frustration in both their faces when she appeared. You've got Paul Heyman like sighing in the back whilst holding the Universal title, and you got Roman just like, ugh.
Like, this is the first time Roman. Oh, go ahead.
And then he asked the question of, you're either here to annoy me, or you're here to flirt with the wise man.
Yeah. This is Roman's first interaction with Kayla, though. Like, he normally don't interact with Kayla. She's normally a side character that's in a different universe. Yeah, I know he's seen the show, but it's the first time he gets to confront her about her flirtatious sexual tension with the wise man. This is what's going on here. And I like the dynamic of it. You need to acknowledge it.
Yeah. It was so good that those two were together for that moment. Because it's one thing seeing Paul Heyman react to Kayla Braxton. Seeing Roman there with him, even more funny.
Because Roman just had like, man, I ain't got time for this shit. I know what I'm about to do tonight. And this have us try to stir up some trouble. Marcus, now, she spoke with Paul Heyman, and he gave the stipulation of reciting Boys to Men on bended knee. What did you think about this stipulation, Marcus?
I don't know if it was an official stipulation to a match, but they seemed to make it seem like it was. I 100% agree with this, and it added stakes, because I could not imagine Roman Reigns acknowledging anybody else as being king. And it just put that drama up there. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
That should have been our thumbnail. Like, they used the same image from last week.
I mean, let me ask this question. So the stipulation was with King Woods bend the knee. It seemed like King Woods was beheaded because I mean he lost his crown. I'm a tad bit concerned, but at the same time, I thought Woods' interview with Kayla was just as good as Roman's interview where he recited the bad week for the New Day. I have not been hyped for a main event in a long time, and I think we should just jump to that main event before we talk about Rick Boogs and them like that. Overall, this was one of the more entertaining main event matches that I've enjoyed in a long time on SmackDown because I really didn't know what was going to happen. But like Marcus said,
Really?
I didn't think the
What
Tribal
was
Chief.
happening?
Wait a minute. That's one thing you can't argue.
No, I knew Roman wasn't bending the knee, Marcus. However, I didn't know how it was going to go about. I can tell you this. For one moment, I thought Roman was pissed that his cousins had interfered because he looked like he was bending the knee out of spite, like he had lost. And then when
He did lose.
and then when they went
No,
and crowd,
he was like, crown me, motherfucker.
when he went and crowd, I was like, that's a cold ass move right there.
What you don't understand is that Roman fulfilled his prophecy from earlier. As Paul even said, if Roman don't win, he will bend the knee and acknowledge the king. And Eric, he did that. He did all of that because he is now king and he bended the knee. He did all of that so he remains Universal Champion and is no longer banished from SmackDown.
Now, Manny, with the ending of SmackDown, did it make you want to come back next week to see what Woods would do to get revenge? Because I know it did for me.
You think Woods is going to get revenge? Woods is dead. Woods is dead. He basically got Mufasa'd right there.
Ooh.
No, technically, I don't think he's dead. I think he was Simba. He was banished from the kingdom, so he's going to hang out with Timon and Pumbaa, and he's going to come back with two dudes that's going to have his back.
This was your fault, Simba.
Matata.
Although, in this story, Big E is Simba. Big E is Simba. In which, run, Big E. Run! You're banished. You killed your father.
Okay, so
but this is a great setup for the Go Home show for the Raw invasion, where the Raw team comes into SmackDown, and then you have Big E and Roman trading punches back and forth, as in Roman says, Big E, you came here by yourself, I got my whole family, and then he's like, no, and then they go full Avengers Endgame, Umba behind him. And Raw team comes in, full invasion, leads us to the Survivor Series, and that's how you tell a story leading to a pay-per-view. I'm just saying, that's what I want to see next week. Invasion angle. It's time.
So, Marcus, I'm going to ask you a question. So, did you enjoy the storyline on SmackDown or the storyline on Monday Night Raw where Kevin Owens was trying to get some credibility that he ate a turncoat on anybody, and then at the end of the day, he lost the match because he got clipped by Big E, which resulted in him getting counted out from Seth Rollins. And then Kevin Owens did what Kevin Owens do. He snapped to beat up Big E. How did you feel about that?
Well, he's official. He does have Big Show disease, in which he can turn on you at any given moment. Also, another person that has that is Sasha Banks. Any given moment, they can turn on you. You need to watch your back at all times. And
Is it Big Show disease or is it Apex Predator Randy Orton disease?
I think Big Show has turned more than Randy. When Randy turns, it's for a longer period of time. He is currently a face. He's been a face for about probably a year and some change now since he killed the Legends.
But the thing about it, the turn
goes like that.
The turn of Randy is never surprising because he'll tell you, "I'm a Viper. I will turn on you." It's like you know Randy's gonna turn on somebody. Like we're just waiting for the day that he turns. Oh, Matt Riddle, and everybody will cheer that day when it happens.
WrestleMania. That's what we're getting.
So, but anyway, so Betty, what about you? Because one of my questions I got from watching Raw, I was curious. What did you guys think about the resurgence of Kevin Owens, knowing that his contract is nearing the end? Like WWE finally realized, hey, we had this guy on this roster. We're paying him, I think, $1.5 million. Maybe we should use him before he jumps to AEW. What do you think about that resurgence?
It's one of those things where he's good. He's a good hand to have because you can plug him in anywhere. Is what Luchador said on Tuesday in the comments. And why they should throw the bag at him because he's someone that you can have main event or just throw in the mid card and make someone look good. but it seems like his resurgence is only going to be limited to the fact up till January, because what it sounds like anyway from when the original talk about his contract, he seemed to have his mind already made up that he's leaving. So like it's kind of all there. We're pushing him just to get the storyline along, but like realistically, he's out the door already. He's got one.
It kind of reminds me of the Dean Ambrose push where they were pushing him, and then next thing you know, he walked away. Marcus, would you push?
Dean Ambrose was still weird.
Mark, would you push somebody knowing that they were walking away?
Well, I don't believe. I believe I'm a master negotiator, and I believe that I can bend your mind with money and storytelling to keep you here. And I believe that Vince McMahon is a fool thinking he can keep him, but I believe that's what they're currently thinking. Like, I want to keep Kevin Owens. I like having him around. He's a good head. He can do whatever, like you said. He is a 5-tool player. I want to keep him. Do I think he'll move the needle of AEW? No, but I think he will benefit my product. And so I can see Vince McMahon saying, I try to keep him, and I do what I can. But it may fail after all, but you know what? It's worth a shot to attempt it.
But like, I want to agree with Manny when he says like Kevin Owens is like a Swiss Army knife. You can plug him into any situation, and he works. I don't doubt the credibility of him being in the main event with Seth and Big E. It makes perfectly good sense. I'm concerned though. I hope Vince kind of increases and, maybe throw an extra $750,000 to his contract and maybe give him a little bit more creative control, because I would hate to see him go to
creative control.
Yeah, that's what they all want. I would hate to see him go to AEW and become Adam Cole, just another cog in the wheel, because that's what it kind of feels like what happens when they make that jump to AEW, that, yeah, we signed this talent, but we really don't know what to do with him just yet. And that is a little bit frustrating for me, because I really did like Kevin Owens, and I agree with El Luchador. He is the most successful NXT guy. But speaking
I disagree. The 4 Horsemen, they got him beat.
Guy.
Okay, fine. Drew McIntyre.
Seth.
Seth Rollins.
Seth was the O NXT. We're talking about NXT
Big
1.0. 1.0.
Big E.
He was O NXT. But speaking of NXT,
the Street Profits.
Speaking of NXT 2.0, Adam Pearce had Vaughn. I'm just gonna take away his last name right now because I know that's what they're gonna do if he gets caught up to the man.
No, they're gonna take away the Wagner. He's gonna be Wagner. You're not gonna call him Vaughn. He's gonna be Wagner.
I would go with Vaughn. I don't think I would have called anybody Wag anything.
They're gonna take the nerd off too. He's just gonna be Wags at this point.
Let's throw it over to
Wags. Wags is gonna take care of this.
You can call him Vaughn. You can call him Wagner. You just don't call him Von Wagner. He was standing next to Adam Pearce for
no reason.
For no reason whatsoever. No introduction. Like he was a bodyguard for Adam Pearce, which could be an interesting storyline if Brock was coming back, that Von Wagner would be his bodyguard. But he was there to listen to Sammy bitch and moan about what was going on. And that just led to a match that, for whatever reason, if we were talking about a resurgence of Kevin Owens, let's talk about the resurgence of the true and only Great Hardy. That is Jeff Hardy, as he had that crowd rocking and raving as he defeated Sami Zayn. Manny, I'm going to turn to you.
Zayn.
The resurgence of Jeff Hardy. Did you see this coming?
No, because it's Jeff Hardy. That he gets that reaction wherever he goes. Wherever he goes, he gets that reaction. He would have to murder someone in front of everyone to not get that reaction.
And even then, they shouldn't have provoked Jeff Hardy. He got that Donald Trump love. I don't care what Jeff Hardy does, man. I love him. That's the way he is, Eric. People love Jeff Hardy. You can't turn him against Jeff Hardy. He is unhateable. He's like the Allen Iverson of of wrestling, in which he can go anywhere, he can do whatever, but everybody's gonna give him that big reaction of, that's Jeff Hardy, man. That's motherfucking Jeff Hardy. Respect on his name.
Eric, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Manny.
So, just let's throw back quickly to Mr. Wagner being beside Adam Pearce. Do you think that means
the big waggle?
The big waggle.
And then let you know put in the chat.
Do you think that means definitely Kyle O'Reilly's done? Because
I
they're currently
mean,
tagging on 2.0, and allegedly his contract is up at the end of the December.
Manny, I think all the seeds are being planted on Dynamite that Kyle O'Reilly is gonna be done because I feel like the Undisputed Era, minus Roddy Strong, is coming back to AEW, and
Eric, there's no dispute.
yeah, like this. This is a very hard thing for me because when I was watching Dynamite, and it made me think of this question, and I was like, what is the disconnect of NXT with wrestling fans? Is it just because it's a WWE product? Because literally, what they're doing in AEW, they're going to take Adam Cole, reunite him with Bobby Fish, and then probably with Kyle O'Reilly, and then people will be like, it's the greatest thing ever when they've already did it when they dominated NXT as the Undisputed Era. What is that disconnect? Why can't people respect what NXT does when this is the only true wrestling product at one point in WWE, but they give all the praise to AEW? Marcus, I turn to you. Looks like you scratching your head because you have a thought in your head.
No, I had an itch. It's called an itch.
I like to
It's
call
just-
them thoughts, though.
But my thoughts were rapid, and it is that WWE stank. That's what happens. Is that you get behind somebody in the black and this is the black and gold brand. We're talking about this era. You got behind somebody in the black and gold brand, and then time and time and time again, when they went to the main roster, you get this big reaction. It's like, yes, they made it, and then Vince goes, nah, I don't want to use these guys. I don't want to use this guy. And now with 2.0, he does have the people he want, like your big waggles and your broad breakers and stuff like that.
But Marcus,
so
Undisputed Era never made it to the main roster, so that argument is kind of moot.
Yeah, no, but the fans saw that Vince is never going to call them up because they're everything Vince McMahon hates. They're undersized, hardworking wrestlers, and Adam Cole is probably the one with the most charisma. Like if he was going to keep anybody, it would just be Cole. Because at least he can talk on the mic. The other ones are charismaless. Although they're great mechanics in the ring, they're great people to have on your roster. They're just not Vince McMahon's type. And we all have he has a type. Tony Storm is Vince McMahon type. Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Vince McMahon type. Braun Breaker, Von Wagner, and I guess Bianca Belair or something are Vince McMahon type. Although Bianca could arguably be the most successful person out of NXT.
I don't know, man, because you could argue. But Manny, what do you think about that? Like, what is that disconnect with NXT? Like,
I think it basically stems off what Marcus said. It's definitely it's because it's a WWE product and it's got the WWE stink all over it. And you've seen from past history how pre NXT people are treated on the main roster. They have a ceiling to them, where if you go over to AEW and you throw them over there, the ceiling is it's not limitless because you're not used frequently. You're not used frequently on AEW, but you're there and then you're free to do whatever you want.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, I think El Luchador said in the chat room, NXT and Undisputed Era was the feeder for AEW. It's possible. I mean,
here's
go
the
ahead,
thing.
Marcus.
Not only was NXT, Eric, 205 Live is also a feeder for AEW. These wrestlers were wrestling on 205 Live in a cruiserweight tournament. A lot of them were in that too. Got no traction for the regular wrestling world. But as soon as they show up in NXT, like Navari has been on 205 Live doing nothing. It's called Hell on Earth being on that show. I'm like the only one to ever watch it. But the work you see people do on that show it's the same work you'll see them do in AEW. A lot of times.
Manny, it's funny because when Marcus brings up Davari, I was on the phone with him doing that match on my watch. And I told him, you know what? I'm going to have a field day when the AEW fans start cheering the name Nia Jax when she jumps over to AEW. They try to tell me how she's a great wrestler because I remember everything they said when she was with WWE because you know it's going to be a day. But I have another question because when I was watching the Jeff Hardy Sami Zayn match and I just saw the reaction that Jeff Hardy got. And I know everyone says that it's Jeff Hardy, but it made me want to know answer to this question. And I'll go to you first, Manny. Is it harder to pop a WWE crowd compared to an AEW crowd?
Yeah, because that you just threw you just like tossed the ball towards
Hey,
me.
sometimes
Manny, throw the ball to me.
Hey,
Throw the ball to me,
sometimes
Manny.
I gotta be Steve
Throw the
Nash
ball.
and give a good assist. I gotta give a good assist. That's what I gotta do.
Out of here. You lob that shit up.
To be honest,
It is, 'cause-
I just want to just. The Jeff Hardy pop was very similar to the way they reacted to Jungle Boy.
But in fairness of this crowd at SmackDown, they had a hot crowd all night. In Norfolk, Virginia was a hot ass crowd, and they cheered everything. They were cheering Aaliyah's first win, and they were cheering the 4 women standing in the ring. They went with the Charlotte, who may have started a chant with Becky. At one point, they went full in on that. They went all in, and Charlotte has never had a positive response to anything she's ever said in her life. And then, the crowd did that. And even when Tony Storm came out and started talking her shit, there was a faint to the Star Maker.
Because, like, I know that I think Dynamite is in Virginia the day after Full Gear this Wednesday. And that is the hometown of the Hangman himself. So I can only imagine that the crowd's going to even be hotter for AEW, because I think you're ingrained when you're at an AEW show that you cheer whatever. Like, you will cheer Daivari. Like, Daivari will get a "this is awesome" chant. So I was just watching because, well, go ahead, Marcus.
Well, I'm going to argue that it's the same crowd that goes to the NXT Full Sail every week, who cheers everything or boo anything, but they react right away. Because Tony D'Angelo gets reactions for no.
I hate that man. I hate him. All the bad things that happen to him in his life.
Tony D'Angelo gets pops no matter what. This is awesome chance going to Toxic Attraction matches. This is like it's that crowd. And even when NXT was in its peak, when they were doing takeovers at like big arenas, and they were selling those out. Those fans were the AEW fans, and they were cheering everything no matter what. Whether it was Velveteen Dream, or it was Nia Jax, or Lars Sullivan. It didn't matter. There was reaction. The WWE main roster, as I have told this to Eric, are nothing but Laker fan type fans, in which they are there to watch a show, and they are there to be seen, and they are not there to actually do what wrestling fans do, and that's go absolutely bananas.
And so that, I guess it does answer the question that it is harder to pop a WWE crowd, because most people are there just as the status symbol. Like, we're just here to watch this show. We're not.
I'm
we're
bringing
not here to
my
cheer.
kids. I'm bringing my kids.
But then AEW is more marketed at like, this show is for the fans, because when you watch it, it is like watching or being at just a random indie show where you're gonna pop because it's wrestling most of the time. Because like, if we look at it as a whole, we don't like their storytelling. Like, let's be real, we don't enjoy
their storytelling doesn't exist. That's the problem.
But then if you took that out of it and we were just like there, for instance, if this was all in Japanese and what we were watching, we wouldn't have that much of a problem with it.
I would sit down and clap quietly because I
think we wouldn't have that much of a problem with it.
And, I had these 2 analogies already saved for this conversation when I started talking about AEW, but I might as well talk about right now. Watching AEW to me is like watching The Harder They Fall on Netflix, where you have all these great actors, but the story just was not compelling enough to me. Or it's like playing a video game that has great controls, but it has no fucking story to the game that you're playing. You're like, man, this controls is really good in this video game, but damn, what the hell am I doing in this game? That's what it feels like when I watch AEW. You have great matches, but they mean absolutely nothing at the end of the day. We have seen.
What I take away from this is that you didn't like The Harder They Fall.
I did not care for that movie, Marcus. I did not.
Oh man, you a hater.
Maybe I am. Marcus, my black card has been slashed numerous times, and I'm pretty sure I lost it by talking bad about.
You did it yourself by admitting you watch fishing.
Yeah.
Betty, it is bass fishing. I do not care for fly fishing. Just put the record, make the record
What's the
clear.
difference?
I will
same
explain,
shit.
I will explain on another episode. But before we start talking about Dynamite and Rampage and all that, we need to talk about the one last segment that was very important on SmackDown. That was the interaction between Charlotte and Manny's boo, Tony Storm. Tony Storm came out, challenged Charlotte to be like the man, Becky Lynch, and give somebody an opportunity at the title. And of course, Charlotte was like, bitch, please. And she walked out the ring.
With her shoulder pads. I got a football game at noon.
Man, she was dressed like Rosarita Charlotte with them shoulder pads going on. I don't know what was going on.
That was straight from the 80s. 80 secondary.
Betty,
this was one of the rare times. The rare time Charlotte has come to the ring in shoes and left the ring wearing them. It's been a very long time where she's come to the ring wearing shoes and she's left the ring with destruction because barefoot Charlotte has been unleashed. And tonight I thought she was going to be unleashed and Toni Storm was going to be a victim. No.
I liked the segment because I thought it was a segment that gave Toni Storm a little bit of a rub. Like, hey, I'm trying to put my feather in this hat and I want to fight you, but you're ducking me. And then like Charlotte running away shows that she is that bitch. Like, you know what? I'm not fighting you. I don't deserve. She's the bitch that Jade Cargill wants to be. What do you think about that, Manny?
I agree with you. Nobody has said they are that bitch so many times and not sounded believable.
No. I have not seen her do anything to prove that she's that bitch.
But did you like the segment overall, though, Manny?
Yeah, I think it was a really good segment because Toni Storm has done nothing since being on SmackDown. Like, hasn't really been given an opportunity to do anything. So, given that this was a very small segment, I'm hoping it leads to something else because she's a very talented wrestler and they need to be doing stuff with her as much as like they're trying to do stuff with Aaliyah and stuff like that. They need to establish these other women that have come up as well.
Yeah, and I feel like I think that's what the mode they're in, establishing these new women, Aaliyah,
Tony,
Shotzi. It's Shotzi.
And
then they're doing like a
Marcus, me mugging Shotzi.
Oh, that was beat down on sight.
Is by far my favorite. And you
that
guys
was beat down on sight. That was beat down on sight. As soon as Sasha came out there, I was like, "We're having a pull apart, guys. That's what's happening here. That's what's happening here." They look like they're ready to kill each other.
So, Manny, I see it in the chat. You got Forza Horizon 5 talking about. I have it downloaded on my Xbox One. I haven't turned it on yet. Are you really enjoying that game?
Yeah, it's tedious at parts because there's a lot of driving around to different events because I don't do that fast traveling.
Manny, go see the scenery, goddammit.
Racing games peaked with Cruising USA. I'm just saying.
No, they didn't, Marcus. You ain't never played Forza, man. Forza is by far the most relaxing driving sim that you don't, because most people hate driving. It's really nice. So
you ain't never drove down the street in Grand Theft Auto and followed the rules. That's relaxing.
I did that. I did that.
I want to point out.
You stopping at lights?
I did stop at lights, man. I tried to be a good citizen. And then,
pop. All right, it's time to get it on.
A part of me almost bought Grand Theft Auto for the Switch, the trilogy, but I said I was going to wait till it goes on sale because $60 is still kind of hard for me to spend on such an old game, but whatever.
I watched a review yesterday. Someone said that playing it on Switch, because it's at like 480, it's slightly more blurry than like playing it on an actual console. So you might want to think twice before doing that.
Oh, no, because my whole thing about it is playing portably. I don't care about graphics. I've never been a graphics sort to begin with, to be totally honest.
Yeah, but playing a blurry racing game is like driving drunk. Who wants to do that?
Hey, I don't get it. I'm not going to go there. So I
just realized where I went. And I was like, shit.
You the ones.
I'm the one. All right.
I almost walked out of SmackDown without talking about the most important segment of the week. Yes, more important than the Tribal Chief, more important than Toni Storm going after Charlotte. We're talking about Hit Row becoming into a rap battle with Jinder Mahal and Shanky. A segment I had idea.
Give him his real name, Slim Shanky.
With respect, Slim Shanky, DJ Slim Shanky. He went through like 8 different names. Like Jinder was calling him everything. And I want to say this for the record. Pettiness have never reached so high, and I respect the pettiness of Jinder as DJ Shanky, Slim Shanky, Dr. Shanky, Snake Shanky Doggy Dog, whatever you want to call him. That dude got bars.
Marcus,
He's better than the Shanty.
Big Shank, Marcus.
Big Shanky.
Master Shank.
Shank the Kid.
Shanky 3000.
Little Shank. Dead Shank.
Little
Shanky
Shank X.
Fresh.
Two Shank.
Two Shank.
Two Shank. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it
Shanky
doesn't
Lamar.
stop, you know. Silk Shank. Sonic Shank.
How you go? Master Shank.
I already said Master Shank.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean,
Make him say, Black Shank. That's a Black Rob reference for no reason.
Punjabi Shank. I mean, because literally that's what he is. The Gray Shank.
Notorious SK.
Oh, hold on. Big Daddy Shank. Marcus, Big Daddy Shank.
Oh, man, you going, Ice Shank. Did you go Ice Shank?
Okay. You want to go there?
Easy Shanky? Ah, damn.
Easy Shank.
MC. We didn't go with the obvious MC Shanky.
Marcus, A Tribe Called Shank.
Wait, that's a good one.
That
Anyway,
You know what? That one's too good for this segment.
clearly, we enjoyed this segment, and I'm confident that AEW fans and wrestling fans in general hated this. Like, they probably badmouthed this, but this is the entertainment that I need. However, I was disappointed because I really thought they were about to have a match that followed, and I was like, oh, we're going to Roman versus Xavier Woods in this situation?
Seeds.
I guess we're going to build this up.
Seeds, Eric. Seeds. Plant the seeds. So next week when you get this shit of Hit Row versus Shanky and Jinder, the best heel in wrestling today, because he's the pettiest of all. I believe it's going to mean something a little bit more when they come out with basically doing a rap battle. Because I know this is going to go overlooked and underlooked in this segment, but Shanky has the best bars in all wrestling right now. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know what he said, but everything sounded like it rhymed. It was on a rhythm of the flow that he was doing. And even his beatboxing was on point.
So I checked the statistics of where our viewership comes from. 20% of it is from India. So our Indian viewers, if you watched SmackDown this week and heard the Shanky rap,
And someone please let us know what he said.
Let us know what he said.
Shanky shark do 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 do. Shanky shark.
Shaky shot. Marcus, you could be our Shank also. After the, you know, our truth, our Shank. You know, the club that we didn't know we needed. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So SmackDown to me was a fun show. I think it's my favorite show of professional wrestling because it gives me pro wrestling and a story to go with it. I don't think anybody really cared about Los Lotharios defeating Nakamura and Rick Boogs.
You know, it kind of hurt a little bit.
It
hurt, was the
really?
right move. It hurt.
I mean, like, they are building something with them. I don't know what they're building just yet, but, you know, Boogs can't be pinned in that situation. Nakamura can. But I guess it's now time to jump.
Before you jump there, Eric.
Okay.
You said the Shanky segment was the best segment of the week.
That's what I enjoyed, man.
You didn't enjoy the segment where I broke Marcus from the lessons of Chase U.
No. Manny, could you revisit this for me?
So, I'll have to pull up my notes.
I was never broken.
You were broken. And I've done it numerous times. I even done it last week.
So it's a bowl of bobs. It's the bowl of bobs.
So, Andre Chase was teaching about mental toughness. He said, you have to visualize your success. Anything can throw you off a game at any time. And once you lose your mental focus, you are doomed for failure. I, numerous times during the show, broke Marcus's mental focus by showing him the picture of Boa. And he lost and stopped his point. Much like you. So I have also broken you, Eric.
Thinking about Boa? Because
it's not Boa. It's
Boa is like a red light that goes, she goes, stop. Hold on. I need to talk about this some more.
So Boa, for me, The reason why Boa makes me laugh is because it makes me think of the person with Finn when the turnbuckle fell and somebody was playing with the lights. Because I'm like, is that the same person that's fucking with Boa? But at the end of the day, when Boa lights go off, he becomes very dangerous because he has like the Tongan death grip. I don't know what's going on with Boa, but I feel like I need to find out what the conclusion is because he's still playing around in the makeup kick. And on top of that, he's doing a better job of getting himself matches on NXT 2.0 than his other leader did before.
What, Xia Li? Xia Li's coming soon.
Not Xia Li. I'm talking about Mei Lee. Because
sometimes you gotta fire your manager. Sometimes you gotta fire your manager.
Xia Li is using the same promo package she used when she was repackaged in NXT, and the only thing that they're doing different is putting the Smackdown logo on there. That's the only thing they're doing.
It's missing the cinematic bars.
It might come back. I can see Mei Lee and Xia Li both coming to SmackDown very soon doing that. Oh no, Xia Li might be the replacement for Aaliyah, who was booted out. But my real replacement is Sonya Deville replacing it and putting herself in that match, but losing the match and blaming Naomi for it.
No, I just put Naomi and then make Naomi be the person that's like guilty for.
She can't put Naomi in it. She hates her too much.
I'm trying to figure out where Naomi's getting her money from. I'm assuming from the Tribal Chief because each week she has new outfits and new hair, and that shit ain't cheap. Like
not to mention Jimmy's
legal fees.
Yeah, that's probably where the family's really going back. It's like,
I guess since you brought up the Andre Chase situation, if you remember that when he's talking about mental toughness, that one student recited what he wanted, and he became like the prize pupil for Chase. Do you think that might be one of Chase like pupils that he uses to manage? Because I can see Chase as a better manager than an actual wrestler because he keeps getting his ass beat.
Well, he's a good jobber. It's you gotta have good jobbers on your roster. And I credit Wardlow Squash this week as being a key example of me just liking a good old-fashioned squash match or watching somebody get their ass beat.
Marcus,
but
you don't like Willer Yuta, Marcus. You don't like Willer Yuta, and I don't either. But the point is, that's all
I like a good jobbing squash match, and I feel that it's a lost art of someone going out there and just getting there and being annoying and then just getting their ass whooped, and that's what an Andre Chase is. So that's what he is. I need more of that from all companies.
When I think of NXT, and I think of NXT as the show of the adventures of Trick and Mello, because they just keep putting themselves in situations that they shouldn't put themselves in. Because for example, the main event became Mello going against Pete Dunne with Dexter Lumis commentating on the match where he didn't say anything. And Pete Dunne got the win, and I was like, I didn't know how to feel about this one. It was like
he's the baddest man at NXT.
Did you guys like that main event? Because I thought it was enjoyable to the finish.
I liked it.
I liked it all the way. I actually enjoyed NXT this week. It was an enjoyable show. But the main story from NXT, what I took away from it, Eric, Braun Breaker's the guy, man. He's the guy. Are you gonna give him? He's the guy. He's the guy. There's no reason for him to be in the UK tour and them showing it on TV that they bragging about him in the UK tour.
Hey.
I would get back.
Hey. Ciampa was also on that tour. Don't put respect on his name.
Yeah. There was more emphasis on the video package for Braun.
Braun Breaker had a piano playing in the background, guitar. This is Braun Breaker posing with the guys.
As I talk about, I don't like matches without context. There are some few examples where it doesn't matter. Manny, I know you took it upon yourself to watch Cesaro versus Walter because you sent the match to us. In our text group.
Marcus watched it. Me and Marcus watched it before the show on Tuesday.
I did not know that. So
yeah.
I've been at work. So literally, guys, did it live up to the hype that you wanted it to live up to?
It was good, but you can't really tell from that view. It's like you're not in there. You're not in there. You want to be in there.
What you're saying, you don't have the production that you wanted to have behind the match.
No.
Not only that, I felt like even from the view we were watching it from, which was like in the nosebleeds, with a digital zoom going on.
That dude wasn't even. That dude was in a telescope on his camera. That was way out there.
It felt like they were holding back a bit because I felt like they were definitely thinking this is probably going to go on TV. We're going to have to put this on TV at some point. And I know there was talk. I saw on the BT Sport Twitter account, they were saying that the Liverpool showing of Cesaro versus Walter will probably be aired. So I'm guessing it'll probably be on NXT UK at some point or something like that.
So my thing, bringing up the Walter match, it made me think of a segment that took place on SmackDown that had me very intrigued. It was when Cesaro interrupted the interview with Ridge Holland, where he was also praising the name of Sheamus. Now,
I can't wait for this. I don't know
why. My thing about it, Marcus, the match, I'd rather for them to be a faction. And I know WWE doesn't have factions, but this seems like this is going to be a very good match.
They have attractions, Eric. They have attractions.
They have attractions. No, that's toxic attraction, Marcus. Don't put respect on their name.
I would never. I don't want to get knocked out by them. But then again,
you get dropped by Gigi Dolan.
I'll take it.
Double J will probably fall over before she hits you.
Clumsy old.
Are you referring to Double J's missed spot that she had in between the ropes where she dived on absolutely nothing?
I mean, I also saw a spot where she tried to get in the ring from a tag and nearly fall over.
I never thought Mandy Rose would be in a faction where she is the second or the first best wrestler in the group. Because JCJ is not that good.
If WWE decided to replace JCJ with somebody else and to still call them JJ, I don't think many people would be upset about that. But
fucked up.
You know what?
You're trying to Dawkins. You're trying to Dawkins her.
You're Dawkins her again.
You're trying to give her a Dawkins treatment.
She Dawkins. We all know she's Dawkins. Come on, man. Come on. Gigi is technically the star, but Mandy has to go. But you know,
I would compare them to the Shield, and then you got Mandy as Seth, and Mandy as Roman, and Gigi is Ambrose, who now known as Jon Moxley, and JC Jane is Roman. Maybe she Roman it. Maybe she turned into something.
No, because you've called Mandy Roman, so she's gonna have to be.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Gigi's more of a Dean. Gigi's more of a Dean, though.
She's definitely a Dean.
JJ,
she does Dean better than Dean, though.
She does.
She does.
Because I can't get with Dean Ambrose when he's doing that.
I can't fuck with you. I can't fuck with you, Dean Ambrose, when you at Mox when you twitching your orbs and you flailing like a fish.
So NXT also has something on there that I don't know why I am invested in this, but Sarai lost to Kaylee Ray. But if you went to either it was WWE NXT Instagram or it might have been Sarai. Sarai is sitting in the corner and she can't figure out what she's doing wrong, why she keeps losing. And at that point, I was like, I don't know why I'm invested in her right now. But is she gonna go to a dark side? Is she gonna go talk to Boa and Boa shows her the
Boa is the wrong person to go to.
Yeah. That is not a person you go to advice to. She needs to go to EO.
Hashtag on her face.
She needs to go to EO. She needs to go talk to Mandy. She needs to go talk to a good old fashioned heel in the back.
She got the time to get. She can't get to Mandy.
Mandy can give her advice.
Mandy's schedule too busy.
It could be like Mean Girls, and they give her a makeover, and she's just evil now. And Saray gotta find her way out.
No, the thing I had about that whole tweet that Saray put out was she was sitting in the fetal position, and someone took that photo, and then she thought, yes, this is a good idea for me to tweet out.
Yes. She's about to be, whoever took that photo is going to rebirth her. She's going to be reborn as something greater.
I know we're all over the place in this report. But back to SmackDown being the best show of the week. I really enjoyed all the scenes they were playing to every single storyline. It seemed like everything mattered on SmackDown. And I know we only brushed over Ridge Holland, Sheamus, and Cesaro. I'm really curious where this is going. Is Sheamus and Ridge going to team up? Or is Cesaro and Ridge somehow going to turn on Sheamus? Or is Ridge just going to be evil and just attack Sheamus, his hero? You were my hero, and just be an obsessive stalker? I'm curious where that goes. And I know it's little, but I feel like I'm going to get amazing matches, and I can get a dark-ass stalking story out of it.
And the thing for me, though, is that they brought up one of my favorite tag teams that I don't think gets the respect it deserves. The Bar. it was a period. The bar was untouchable, and they didn't even turn on each other to break up. They just went their separate ways. I don't know what you guys are doing.
We're trying to do the bar. We're trying to even it out and level it out, but we failed.
You guys did a better job until Manny started turned into Batista and decided it was going to be a powerbomb of death. There it is. The guy's fine.
There you go.
So
we're touching just the tips. We just got to get
Marcus,
touch.
Don't feel bad, Marcus. Don't feel bad about jumping all over the place because I like to consider this the WWE block of the show because we still have the AEW block to get through. The last thing I would like to speak on about WWE, and this is I enjoyed NXT. I don't think it was as bad as what people said it was. I thought it was a solid show, but I kind of feel like Solo Sikoa is dead in the water. I just don't feel like there's anything about him that
he's from the I know why he family. He is going.
Yeah, I was like, he ain't the one. He ain't the one. He ain't.
He's the one. Marcus, you got to turn around and do it.
Yeah. I mean, no one can really see it. Exhibit A. But yeah, I don't have a problem with Solo Sequoia. I thought he's fine. He's gonna join up with them eventually. And even after his matches, apparently a picture leak of him pointing up, we the ones at the end.
Yeah, but I feel like he was in a match with people who I just don't really care about NXT, like Grayson Waller, LA Knight. Like, why are they there? Like, it's
well, they're just feeling. I believe Grayson Knight and LA Knight and Grayson Waller are just gonna eventually form a tag team and just chase women all the time.
And then
be a mentor to that young guy.
Where the hell is my boy Santos Escobar? Why? Because Electra's trying to lead with her thoughts of getting with
Electra's dirty dancing. Electra's dirty dancing.
I'm just like, what the hell, man? They losing focus.
Yeah,
they are losing focus.
I don't know who asked for Zaya Quinn, right? Or Zima Ion, whatever his name. I'm mixing all their names up now. Zia or Ion Mendoza. I think that they need to stop listening to Elektra and just focus on what they were going for, and that's a North American title. Damn it, Melo has that title. Yeah. Go after him. They
forgot what they what they was doing. So
that's not either had COVID or they're thinking about calling him up, Eric.
Was there anything else that happened in WWE this week that you guys wanted me to speak on, or are we safe to jump into the world of All Elite Wrestling?
Let's just talk about your boy from NXT 2.0, Cameron Grimes. What do you think about that whole story? Because it seems stupid.
So right now, what's going on with Cameron Grimes right now for me is very frustrating because it seems like they're reverting back to where he was when I was the only one that liked him. And I think that's disappointing because, like, first the poker room and all that good stuff. It just, like, 1 week he's trying to holler at the ladies and he can't be a ladies man. Then next week he goes to Duke's poker room and he cleaned Duke's out. And then this week he's fighting somebody that no one even knows of. Like, Cameron Grimes has lost the way. He's probably one of those guys who probably should have been called up to the main roster so he can be put into Nowhere Land and to be released when they do their mass releases.
You mean chase the 24 title?
Yeah, I mean, like, because like right now what he's doing, it ain't it for me. It ain't it for me. I'm disappointed.
Well, the poker gimmick of Duke Hudson is stupid. It's just a bad gimmick altogether.
Is it worse than Brandon
gimmick? Brandon Gimmick had no character, which was better than what he is right now.
So he could have.
I don't know what he is. I don't know what he is right now. No, AEW got better characters than him.
They should just give him the Wade Barrett. Bad news. Was it bad? Call him Bad News Hudson.
Yeah, Bad News Duke.
Daddy, if you did that, the wrestling community would have a field day of talking. Oh, WWE has run out of ideas. Blah blah blah. They're going back to the well.
Eric, no, WWE clearly went out of ideas when they decided to team up Jacket Time. Jacket Time, damn it.
Talk about Jacket Time like that.
Jacket Time is a disgrace.
Marcus,
Jacket Time is a disgrace.
Marcus, you need to shut your mouth.
Oh, what the fuck?
And somebody got some feedback someplace. I don't know what that is.
It's Marcus because his mic always does that.
Okay. Marcus, I don't know how you're gonna sit here and be upset about two men finding common interests with each other and bringing Jacket Time together, Marcus. I mean, come on, man. You trying to tell me
Kushida is better than this?
Jacket Time
Release
versus the Creed
Kushida.
Brothers that make you happy.
Release Kushida.
Why?
Don't do this to him. Release Kushida.
Kushida is an old man, and he's doing what your boy Kenta could never do: survive in the WWE and stay healthy.
Kenta's doing fine. And as your current United States Japanese champion,
Marcus, I don't care. Marcus, I don't care what he's doing.
He's doing
outside
fine.
Of WWE.
He's doing
he
fine.
He survive in WWE.
He was surviving fine.
He was an NXT original who was supposed to be the face of the company, and he got hurt.
Injured. He got hurt. All right.
Like he always.
But the thing is, they put him on 205 Live, and that's where wrestlers go to die. How dare you?
Marcus,
and Kenta, and you talk about surviving, Kenta's earning a paycheck. Kenta is better than Jacket Time.
Don't do this to go to get hired by AEW, Marcus. That's what 205 Live is. It's the showcase for AEW.
Put some respect on Jacket Time. They had an amazing.
Yeah, man. Put some, Marcus. I'm disappointed in you. Be the man who wrote about yourself
You don't even know. Do you know why? Do you know why Manny shared Jacket Time, Eric?
I don't care. Because
Manny, explain to him.
Manny can be each man, and I can be Kushida. Come on, Manny. Do your jacket, and I'll look at my watch.
No. So the Titantron was amazing because it was just a jacket, and then it opened, and then there was a clock. That's all he did.
Yes.
And Marcus, the person that created that, should be working for Pixar because that was fucking incredible. And I'm not even joking.
He had 2 minutes to do that, and they were probably stressed out. And what's supposed to do with this racially charged tag team?
I have never seen so much ingenuity. I don't even know if that's a correct word. Since the Pixar, the lamp jumping on the eye, and
the goddamn death lamp.
I'm gonna say right now, who would have thought?
And when Hikamanjiro said, "You Japanese, I'm Japanese. We are Japanese." That was basically, "You got a friend in me."
It was. That was Buzz and Woody.
That was racism. We need to stick together because they don't treat the Japanese correctly on this show. You saw what happened to Kenta. Shinsuke Nakamura is now hanging around boobs. We need to stick together. Jacket Time needs to be stopped.
Marcus,
at all costs.
Marcus, I'm ashamed that you're my brother and you don't appreciate Jacket Time, man. I'm telling you right now, Jacket Time and a Tribe Called Shanky might have been the two best things in WWE this week that nobody wanted.
And Marcus, that's the reason alone that the Asians are taking over.
Marcus, NXT Japan is going to happen, Marcus. It's going to happen.
It's not happening. Kairi Sane needs to come back. As me and Manny said, Kairi Sane needs to come back. Hey, Eric, what's your favorite version of Kairi Sane?
And you tell me her versions again.
So you got Hood Kairi Sane.
You got Hood with the backwards hat, Pirate. You have Asuka's minion. And then you have extended Asuka minion, but this time with Recorder.
Recorder, that was Recorder one. That was it. When she was like really evil for no good damn reason. Yeah, that was it.
Because that Recorder Kairi Sane, we were all in a dark place at that point because everyone was in some type of lockdown and isolation. And she came out with that recorder, and it brought joy to my heart.
That was the highlights for me in a pandemic era of wrestling, which we could probably do a piece on the pandemic era of wrestling.
Drew McIntyre era?
Yeah, Kairi Sane was the star in a dark sky at that current moment.
I want you to picture something. Picture the Jacket Time intro with the book, and the next thing you hear the recorder playing, and here comes Io Shirai coming up. Man,
Io Shirai!
I'm sorry.
You racist bitch.
Kairi said, but Io can play too. Because you know they got
teaming the Japanese together.
Why not, Marcus? They team the blacks together. Marcus, can I tell you something? AEW did it this week on Dynamite. Why can't WWE do it with the Japanese people?
Can you imagine?
That's like there was a white man.
There was a match where there was 75% black people in it. Jesus Christ.
Yep, and then the lightest one won. Huh.
So
that black kid is lighter than Matt Sydal. That's the only reason he gets the pin.
We are jumping out of the WWE universe, and we're jumping into the AEW universe, and I'm going to try to keep my blood pressure at a very constant state because, whatever. So Dynamite happened, And I have 4 takeaways from Dynamite that I would like to discuss before we get to Rampage, because Rampage is a shit show. And so we really don't have much to talk with that one. But Dynamite, on the other hand, this was the flagship. This was their first show. The very first match that they had was Rocky Romero versus Bryan Danielson, where Bryan Danielson went over. Now,
I'm living my best life. That's all.
My question that I have from watching this match: does AEW do a good enough job introducing wrestlers from outside of their company, or do they rely too much on the knowledge of their fan base? Because like, no one knows who Rocky Romero is if you don't know into the wrestling. You know, the thing, like he came out to Roppongi Vice and all that. Rocky has always been a solid hand in wrestling, but he's never been a huge star. I'll turn to you first, Marcus, because what do you think? Do they just rely on their fan base knowing?
They did. One, they know their base, and they know who these people are. And two, they did explain a lot of it. They said he's in the group called Chaos from Japan, and that the best friends have been entered in Chaos, which made me sick. It made me sick that the best friends are a part of Chaos.
But didn't they say that Wardlow was a part of Chaos too, or something like that? I thought they mentioned and announced.
No, I don't think they mentioned Wardlow. I think Wardlow just creates chaos.
Oh, okay. I thought they said he was in Chaos. I was like, oh, okay.
No, I was like, I didn't hear that part. Wardlow's in there? Well, they got credibility again. But no, when they announced the best friend, so I thought they did a solid job. And here I go, thinking Rocky Romero's a big wash. And then Bryan Danielson goes, I'm just going to have a great match with Rocky Romero. He's just doing whatever he wants, and it makes me sick. He's so happy. He's so happy having these just matches with everybody. He's just doing whatever he wants. It's something Vince couldn't give him. Vince could never give him Rocky Romero.
He could never give him Rocky Romero.
He could not give him Rocky Romero. He could not give him... Yeah, he cannot give him a Suzuki. He can't give him these matches. Vince McMahon had nothing to offer Bryan Danielson.
No.
This is what he wants.
So when it came to the contract renegotiations, when he was either going to AEW or he was going to stay in WWE, he is the only person that they offered to allow him to work with New Japan. The only person, because they realized how valuable his stock was to stay in the company, that they were willing to offer him, you can go off to New Japan and do whatever you want.
Yes.
So Vince was willing to do it.
He was willing, but he couldn't give him everybody. AEW has the world. He can offer him the world. Whether it's Impact or anything, Vince McMahon's not going to let Bryan Danielson do whatever the hell he wants and have the matches he wants.
Marcus,
he would say, hey, you can have your matches, but you better be back here on Monday morning and be safe.
You're trying to sit here and say that in the negotiation room with Vince, he was like, Vince, can I fight Rocky Romero? Hell no, you can't fight Rocky Romero. But you know what, Vince? I'm going to AEW. Is that what you're trying to tell me right now?
I don't feel like negotiations were that bad and hinging on a match with Rocky Romero.
Rocky Romero was that tipping point, Marcus. That was it.
But I can see Bryan Danielson saying, Vince, in the contract, I love you. I love this company. I'm going to be back. I'm going to enter the Hall of Fame one day. But if you can offer me these names on this list of people I want to wrestle.
So also on this list is Eddie Kingston. So are you saying that Eddie Kingston was on this list? Like,
I'm going to say there's a lot of
Manny, I warn you. You tread very lightly when you talk about the great Eddie Kingston. You tread lightly, my brother.
The deal breaker was probably Kenny Omega. When he was like, I want to wrestle Omega.
But I want to wrestle Omega to a draw.
No, he don't care. He don't care about wins and losses. This is a man that clearly don't care. He's going to take the loss to Miro tonight. He's going to take this loss.
Well, like for me though, like I know who Rocky Romero is. I didn't really know who Mauro Suzuki was, and I wish they would have gave me a little bit more.
Minoru, not Mauro Ranallo.
Whatever, Suzuki. I'm going to call him Suzuki. I'm going to call him Suzuki. What about you, Manny? Do you think they do a good job of introducing their outside talent, or do they just focus so much more on their in-home talent and go from there?
You're heavily relying on, what's his name? Masked Man. Excalibur to really sell you on why
the Masked Man.
But I don't. But a lot of the time on a Thursday, because I'm normally got this on while I'm working. I'm not paying attention to commentary as much. So
I hate their commentary because I just can't stand it. So I don't pay attention. So maybe it's my own fault that I don't know about a lot of the people that they're bringing in.
A lot of times they have Jericho.
Rampage. Normally it's a little bit more refined on Dynamite. You want
on Dynamite, you get Jim Ross being bitter. You get Tony Schiavone sucking dick. You get Excalibur diarrhea out of the mouth. I hate all their commentary. They just can't get it right. The only time they were ever solid was when CM Punk was in there for that like 10 seconds before he was attacked by Team Taz.
Now, Marcus, before we close the door on Bryan Danielson, my last question for you: do you feel like he's working too much in AEW? Because I know it's something that he wants to do. However, is it best for his mental state?
Hey, let him do what he wants to do. If he's happy, I'm happy. We're all benefiting from this. If he's not happy doing this, I don't know what the hell he's doing. But he should just tell Tony, I'm working too much, right? Nah, go out there and work again, right? No, he wants to do this. This is what he wants to do. This is the work way he wants to probably work at. This is who he wants to wrestle. I'm sure he's happy. And back to your point where how AEW is bringing in all this other talent. I think the best attribute of AEW is introducing new people to their show. And then after that introduction, they have nothing for them. It's a good introduction, but after the intro, we really have nothing for you after that. You just join some random faction.
I feel like it's very counterproductive when you keep introducing all these outside entities, but then you disrespect all of the people who you had on your roster. And at the end of the day, maybe those people that you have on your roster is trash, but they're still on your roster. Right, Manny? Because there were people in that Lumberjack match on Rampage that I haven't seen on TV in a long time.
Yeah, but I can't get mad at that, even though I didn't like that main event, because it was the first time I ever seen Lumberjacks do their job.
Well, no, these Lumberjacks are all over the place.
Stop, because we're gonna get to Rampage. I want to stay in Dynamite because we have to really discuss I don't know if they really did their job, Manny. I don't agree with that. So going back to Dynamite, they had something else trying to get us hyped up for Full Gear, and that is when the American Top Team attacked the Inner Circle. Which I would like to say this is why you don't bring in a lot of outside entities to fight, because some of them punches look awful and it was just bad. But with that being said, did it increase your interest in their match at Full Gear, Manny?
No. The only benefit I had that week was that I didn't have to listen to Chris Jericho. That's the only benefit. But then I got 40 minutes of him on AEW Rampage. So I don't know what's worse.
Marcus, what about you? The Inner Circle American Top Team. I mean, it's going to be a barn burner, right?
I'm going to clarify this right now, and I'm going to say this right now. Because I was taught as a young boy. Instead? Yeah, I was taught as a young man or a young boy, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't speak at all. If you care for my opinions on this segment, please tune in to the Untitled Manny and Marcus show, the Thursday edition of the show, where I said this is a waste of time.
Did we even talk about it? I don't even
we
think
did. We talked about how yeah, and that's all it deserves. It's a waste of time. No one's benefiting from any of this. No one, except for Jericho, who gets to be on TV. No one else. Sammy Guevara is your TNT champion. The TNT title is probably my favorite thing in AEW. When Miro had it, when Darby had it, and Brody, and even when Cody had it. It was actually still a highlight of the show. At least. Now, it's reduced to this gang warfare shit. No one's benefited from any of this. Not even the Man of the Year. They're going to probably lose. This is all a big waste of time.
Marcus, he has the tightest tits in the game, and he's not even using them to his advantage. That's the worst part about it.
Do you know I feel bad for Santana and Ortiz, because they're lost. They've been lost ever since they've been in the Inner Circle.
Yeah,
they have not come close to those tag titles ever.
Yeah, it seemed like they were on course to feud with the Lucha Bros for the tag titles. That was derailed because they wanted to do his top team feud. As long as Sammy Guevara seemed like, he's going to be TNT champion. Yeah, sure, the fans love it. Maybe he'll get a contender to fight him against it. Nope. He got to do his top team stuff. The only person this has benefit is Jericho, and is bringing everybody in this feud down. Whether it's the Men of the Year, his own Pride and Powerful, and Sammy Guevara. And Jake Hager is just going to be there.
So I'm really enjoying using Notion as for my show notes, because I have these little boxes. So when I make points, I get to check them off to say, hey, I did that. So, Manny, I'm going back to you.
You're a loser.
Because when I was watching Anthony Bowens versus Jungle Boy, and then I watched Dax Hartwood, I think that's his name, against Pac, a question popped into my head, and I really thought about you in this situation. Are you happy that there are less tag team matches, but the tag teams are now competing in singles matches instead?
I mean, the Dax Hardwood one was a one-off because you don't get that often, and that match was, as we said on Thursday, that match was special and it was a delight to watch. It was a really good match. But the Bowens one, we were also surprised on how good Bowens was. It's just that he lacks the ability to talk on the mic, so he needs Caster.
He also has a weird haircut, man. No, Marcus,
No,
it's this.
that's a-
It's that, Marcus. They
No,
did that.
that's scissored. No. This is the
Marcus,
acclaim.
Marcus,
This is the acclaim.
no,
This is
Marcus, no.
scissored.
They
Eric,
scissored the acclaim.
You are mixing up your videos.
No,
You're
Mark,
mixing up your
Mark,
videos.
they scissored the acclaim. I'm letting you know.
No, you're watching AEW Dynamite on Pornhub. That's different.
So I agree. I felt like Anthony Bowens really took a step after last
AEW
week,
Blacks.
after watching wrestling Bryan Danielson last week on Rampage, and then this week against Jungle Boy. And then I thought Pax versus Dax was also special. But then, like, I think during the Dax and Pac match, JR said something. Fans
No
love
idea what you
wrestling,
just said.
and AEW loves, and we love doing wrestling. And then I just wondered, is wrestling enough? Because at this point, I realized that I might not be a wrestling fan. Because yes, I can acknowledge that Dax and Pac had a very good match, and Bowens and Jungle Boy had a very good match. But at the end of the day, I can't shake that it means absolutely jack shit to anything that going forward within that company. Marcus,
So-
how would you address that? Oh, man, you want to go first?
I was just gonna allude to Marcus's rant towards the end of the AEW Dynamite report on Thursday,
shit.
where he basically described everything that you've just said. But
Wow,
in
and it's
the
funny
form-
because I didn't watch you guys' show, so this is just
Yeah.
this is when I was watching. These are the notes that I just typed up at that point.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're all
In a
brothers.
form of-
and we have
in the
similar
form of
intelligence.
anger, he was just like he doesn't really care as much for these matches that mean nothing because there's no story behind them, and he was. Marcus can explain it better himself because he's the one.
No,
who said
go
it.
ahead. No, go ahead. I am derailed over a stupid comment I made and missed
But-
Eric's entire point because I was laughing over something stupid.
But
Which I think Eric missed because he was just.
Because I was making my point.
Yeah.
but I went on to go. The story means more a lot of the time because, like, if you think if you go back to like big events that happened in WWE, for instance, where Marcus referred to WrestleMania and I mentioned Kofi Mania to start the conversation. If we didn't see the struggle leading towards that and the story for like months and weeks, that whole moment you got to at WrestleMania would have meant nothing. Like the match was good. The matches they had there were good. But because there was that story element behind it and you were attached to it, it meant more. So you felt it more. Whereas like if I watch a really good match on AEW, like because the Bryan Danielson and Rocky Rivera match was good, but there was nothing there. There was nothing there for me to stick my teeth into like, okay, where do we go from here? Because now Bryan is going to go fight Miro, which has an okay story going into it, but that's a 2-week build. 2-week build, and they haven't really interacted. They've just had video packages. So I'm not as invested, even though I want to see the match, but I'm not invested like the stories I get from WWE. Yes, sometimes they are shit, but at least there's something there for me to go, this is why this is happening.
And I think it goes back to the analogy that I made earlier, where it's like watching a movie with great actors, but it's just a shit script. Like what are we really doing here? Like, you're doing your best to make this movie watchable, but at the same time, it's not. And for me personally, I think it's inexcusable when it comes to AEW because they have a built-in storyline that they just refuse to use. Like, when they came up with the ranking systems, that's your built-in storyline. If you actually mention that, oh, this person moving up, or if the wins really didn't matter, as they say week in and week out, it would be a storyline. But when you see people like MJF, who has an immaculate record, or even Darby Allin, and they don't even compete for a title, it's ridiculous. Manny, your hand is up.
Sorry, Marcus. I think the ranking system actually derailed the storytelling, because if you go and say the rankings matter, it's hard to pinpoint and make that a story. Because if you just go, because then you'll just have a recurring story of I'm just a number one contender. There's no real malice into there other than you're just a contender. And you can't sell me a fight on just that. You just need something else. Which is why when you see UFC, there's always bullshit going on into it just to make you want to watch the fight. I don't get that enough for AEW to care about like the main event. The only when we preview Full Gear, the only reason I care about Kenny and Hangman is because that's gone on for a while. And it's been lingering in the background and we've wanted it to happen. Whereas like if you look at the card and it's a 10-match card, how much of that do you actually care about? That's the real question.
None whatsoever.
It's mostly the pay-per-view tonight is mostly a Dynamite disguised as a pay-per-view to me. And even with the Kenny and Hangman storyline, they have 4 pay-per-views a year, which I will applaud them on. I like that. There are 4 pay-per-views a year. It's not like WWE every freaking 3 weeks or something. You got some type of special show, and you have to put on that.
Wait a minute. AEW has special shows too that they just
no. But you know what I mean. I don't care, but it's not pay-per-views, and you're not paying $60 for each one or whatever.
I'm paying $9.99.
I don't care. Okay, I'm just saying you don't have to do a build-up. They have the room to set seeds for these storylines, and for Hangman and Omega, it seems like there has been no heat into this feud. Like, you have the story, but the heat has started with basically the contract signing this week, or even when your main antagonist was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like, they haven't really built the heat into this when it's back and forth promos, stare downs. They wasted, for God's sakes, all their pull aparts with Jungle Boy and Christian and Jungle and the Luchasaurus and all that. And I feel like Kenny and Adam's interaction has been very limited, as in this should be their main storyline, as in the focal point of a TV show should have a character that you're like, I need to focus on. Like Game of Thrones, I can focus on what Jon Snow's doing. Let's see what the fuck's happening with Jon Snow. Or when I watch Smackdown, oh, it's Roman's show. Raw don't have a character. We all know his problems, but you have a character for like, oh, I need to pay attention to see what happens with this story. In this one, I don't. It feels like they just build it up. Oh, we gotta throw this on. It's like, surprise, through all the other stuff we have going on, we do have a pay-per-view going on. That's what I feel like. And you get lost.
What you're saying, Marcus, I understand what you're saying, but I think like the thing that plagues AEW so much, and first, I would say I think the signing of Bryan Danielson really halted a lot of the momentum between Omega and Adam Page, because like, if you told me which match could I have for the AEW title, I would probably say I probably want Bryan Danielson and Omega. But at the same time, as Manny said, the story and the conclusion that we've waited for between Omega and Page has been writing on the wall for so long. I think the biggest thing that AEW suffers from, and this is something very hard for them to come up with, and that is the fact that none of their main guys have any charisma. Like, there is a very, like, Kenny Omega is not charismatic whatsoever. Like, none.
No.
And Adam Page, he's okay, but it's not like watching Roman or even, let's go with King Woods. Like, King Woods and his mannerisms and stuff, like, I'm like, that dude is entertaining. Hell, he might be the most charismatic of the New Day now that he has a microphone and a platform. What do you think about the lack of charisma, Marcus, in AEW?
Well, they focus more on the wrestling and then the charisma and stuff, as you see with a lot of their signings and even the people they push, whether it's that time they push Brian Pillman or Jungle Boy and stuff like that. They all seem to lack charisma and all that, but, you know, charisma, like, you can only go so far with it. It's up to the booker to put them in situations that they can succeed in. Like, Omega was fine they were fine this week in the contract signing. And I felt like it did build up a little bit, but I feel like it's already like, this feels a little late that they're finally having this one-on-one talk and all this. And even the one-on-one talk was, Hangman, I'm just going to sign the damn thing, basically. And Omega was like, yeah. You're going to come up short and all that. So that's basically what you got. and are going to get from. Their most charismatic people are never in the title picture. Cody has threw himself out of the title picture and maybe even out of the AEW universe somehow. The other most charismatic, Miro is in this tournament, who's also apparently charismatic with his promos and talking about God and whatnot. And CM Punk, Eddie Kingston, those are your mic guys, but they're all in the middle of the show in these non-stories.
So, Manny, I had posed the question. I felt that AEW lacked any charismatic professional wrestlers or anybody on the thing that was charismatic. Marcus doesn't think it's more of a problem because they focus on wrestling. What do you feel about that? The lack of charisma in their wrestlers, I think, is a big problem.
That wasn't an interpretation of what I said. That was a poor interpretation of what I said.
Sir, I am the host.
Let me say, really? Marcus says they lack charisma. Eddie, it doesn't matter. That's not Marcus, what I said Marcus, at all.
So you can get your point across.
I think you don't need that many charismatic people for what their audience is. The audience, everyone on that roster is already over. It's very rare that fan base will just like outright not give a reaction to someone. So all you have, because we've seen before, all you have to do is very little for a "This Is Awesome" chant. So you don't necessarily need someone that charismatic, in my opinion, to really be over with the fans or to throw out there. Because like you've seen already, like in terms of numbers wise, you chuck out CM Punk there on Rampage on a Friday, or you chuck him out on Dynamite, the numbers don't really change. It may have bumped maybe to 200,000 more, but like that has kind of dropped off in recent weeks, where you would have thought it would have risen because you're leading up to your one of their pay-per-views. So I don't think they necessarily need it for their fan base that are in the arenas, because like when you look at WWE, you've got superstars all over the place. You see the reaction for when Roman comes out. You see the reaction when Charlotte, Becky, all those people come out. They get a reaction, even Jeff Hardy. But like someone like even Jungle Boy, he gets a massive reaction to the likes of Jeff Hardy.
And
so
we're
you
going to
don't
talk
necessarily need that charisma.
We're going to talk about Jungle Boy, but I want to stay because this is a very interesting conversation at this point, because you say, yeah, to their fan base, the fan base that they have now. But ultimately, isn't it, I'm not really sure because I don't know what Tony Khan's ultimate plan is, but isn't the plan to grow their fan base to a larger fan base, like to continue to increase the ratings? And I feel like if you don't have someone that is much a must-see act, no one is going to tune in except for the hardest of hardcore fans. And could they still be successful by just catering to that fan base?
I think because AEW is more of AEW is a wrestling company. That's what they're built on. That's what they continue to be. Unless they become like WWE, which is an entertainment company that's going to give you a show, AEW aren't really going to grow in that essence because they haven't got marquee signings that are bigger than the company. Like if you look at Brock Lesnar, he's bigger than the company. Like he's known outside of wrestling because of his MMA, whatever else he's done. You know him. He's a household name. He's Brock Lesnar. So you mentioned Brock Lesnar on a card, and then Vince has got the trump card of The Rock. You mentioned The Rock. People are coming in. People are coming in for that. Whereas like AEW don't have that, and it's hard to say because they're only 2 years in. But you also look at other companies that have tried to be in that spot, like Impact, and they've never been there either.
So Marcus,
a wrestling company.
Marcus, I want you to respond to what Manny said, but I also want to add something else to it. Do you think TNT will remain patient with them if their ratings continue to dip? And
TBS seems to be TNT, Turner, whatever they want to call them, seems to be fine with where they're at. But I think that over time, a good wrestling show isn't enough. Like if I can continue to put on enough wrestling matches, it'd be like, oh, it's a good match this week. Eventually, I can just skip it. I can be like, oh, like it'd be like watching a basketball game. Oh, I can miss this episode of the NBA tonight. Watching the Bulls play the Knicks. I don't need to actually see it tonight. It's going to be probably good. That's going to be my assumption. But it's all about the built-in story that you have in it. You do need charismatic people to carry your company. You need the CM Punks, your Eddie Kingstons, to be in the forefront of your company to boost the interest. Because if they're just side characters. They're nothing. Earlier today, before we started this, it's, the Rock's 25th anniversary. And WWE's posting all these random shit. And they posted the time where Steve Austin and The Rock are basically just singing in the ring. Just, wasting time. Just wasting time. They have no reason to be doing this. The crowd is hanging on to every word, and just because the two people are who they are, and they have so much charisma, that they built a story or basically around singing a song and just improvising in the ring. And you go and you like, I don't know if there's anybody in any company that has that much energy, and probably will never again. Just that you hang on to everything they say in the industry, and you do want that. You want to hear, what is this person going to say or do next? And that's why I want to keep tuning in. Because if you're just having a good match, I can miss this good match. If I want to watch a good wrestling match, I can go anywhere on the internet, or I can go watch my old tapes from 1970s Florida Championship Wrestling.
Hey, man, Marcus, don't bring up that experience. Don't bring up your experience on this show, Marcus. Stop
I want to talk about my tape trading days or whatever. If I want to
he's talking about the Ted DiBiase Bret Hart match that me and Marcus covered.
Yeah, if I want to go see a great match, I can go all over Peacock or the New Japan World or anywhere, and you can see a million great matches and probably hundreds of thousands of matches I've never even seen before. But what I'm invested into a story, and I am invested into the characters that present that story. And that's what I feel like I miss every single week when I watch Dynamite, in which the characters aren't presenting the story in a compelling way.
All right, so I want to go into the chat a little bit because J.K. Smush made two good comments, and I'm going to go with his first one, where he says, wrestling needs more people to be the Washington Generals. If anyone doesn't know who the Washington Generals are, the Harlem Globetrotters always played the Washington Generals, and they would destroy them. I think maybe the Generals won one game, but it's like they're jobbers, essentially. I think one of the big issues that I have with AEW is that every match that they have, even when it shouldn't be, it's a very competitive match. Like, people get offense in on some people who should not have any offense. How do you feel about that type of booking for AEW, Manny? Like, it's just that we don't have that good old-fashioned squash. I think Wardlow versus Willa might have been the most recent squash match that we got.
I think it's definitely missing from AEW. It's the problem with the ratings is that these people, you almost have to put them as they're fighting for their lives for the terms of the ratings. But then you do have people like Peter Avalon and the other people he's associated with that are consistent losers. And the cameraman, what's his name?
Dragon.
Brandon Cutler. He's always losing on Dark and stuff like that, but you just don't see it. I think the thing they're missing out on, because you do get squash matches on their YouTube shows, but they just refuse to put them on Dynamite, where they're almost expecting us to watch those YouTube shows to see these guys on the come up, and then when they come on Dynamite, you're expected to know who they are. But that's kind of foolish in that sense, because if you're a wrestling fan, you're trying to consume all of it as much as possible. I don't think there's enough time to watch like I think they're that 2-hour shows, both of them, Elevation and Dark Elevation, whatever they're called. So that's about 4 hours additional to what else you're watching. You would then have to become picky and choosy about what you're watching. So it's almost very difficult to grasp what AEW are trying to accomplish with jobbers in the sense. But yeah, it's a difficult thing to explain.
Jobbers are necessary.
Do you think that AEW is afraid to put their no-name or less than popular wrestlers on their main shows? Do you think that could be a case?
I feel like they're still treating their show like they're in like the Wednesday Night War, in which we must keep people watching at all times, otherwise they're gonna turn away. No, just pace your show. Take your time. You don't have to throw a compelling match in every segment. And I know they're great. I enjoy my Rocky Romero and Daniel Bryan or Dax or Leo Rush in the 75% black wrestling match. Whatever tag, they were all great matches. And I'm going to say this. As I said on Tuesday, Dynamite was a good ass wrestling show this week. Could I have lived without it? Could I have missed this show? Yes. Just like I'm going to probably miss Tribute to the Troops that's coming on Sunday. It's probably going to be a solid show, Royal Wrestled. I'm not going to watch it. It's nothing to it. It's not personal. Just, it's just going to be silly. Or like I don't watch NXT UK every week. I just don't watch it. Compelling show, decent matches, somewhat of a story in there. But don't watch it every week.
Now, Marcus.
Dynamite what I'm saying is that it just doesn't make me need. It's not must see TV. And back to the squash matches thing. One last thing. You need these matches to separate the pack. You need to say this is what someone does, and this is how dominant they can be. It makes the other matches when they do compel up to get somebody else. You be like, oh man, this is. I don't know what's gonna happen when Wardlow grab this move, try to hit that on Hobbs or whoever he's fighting. I don't know how he's going to react to that or something. But you see people countering people's special moves all the time when they're not even special anymore.
Or you see people landing special moves and then people kick out on 1 count. Now, I want to go to the last comment from JK Swish. She says, I just can't take Kenny seriously. His douchiness comes across as lame as opposed to, say, Shawn Michaels came across as a dick. I think it just comes across that Kenny Omega is trying to be something that he really isn't. He ain't that type of person, I don't think. Right?
No, he seems too
He's
nice.
a dork.
He feels like he's going against his own grain, where he's trying to be a bad guy, but like he because he's never been a bad guy in real life, he can't do it.
Like the Bucks,
I'm trying to be a douchebag. No, I believe Triple H was a douchebag.
The Bucks are great at being douchebags.
They are.
Yeah,
they
like,
naturally are douchebags. Though.
Like Roman is great at being a douchebag because I feel like he can be that way. Like Kenny can't. You know who could do that? Mox could have been this person. He could have been the a-hole. But Marcus, I will agree with you, and this is crazy. I thought that Dynamite was a well-wrestled show with the exception of one match. One match just...
Are you talking about the women's tag?
I'm talking about that 6-woman tag with Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Rebel, Tay Conti, Anna Jay, and Thunder Rosa. Because first of all, it made me say, why don't I have Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker at Full Gear? Why is that not my match? However, they wanted to give me Tay Conti versus Britt Baker. I would accept that. But this was a match that they did not need to have. It was bad. It was dangerous. I was concerned for everybody in this match. It was like a bunch of double J's in the ring wrestling. And I was like, I can't take that in my life. What did you guys think about that 6-woman tag, Marcus?
Why do I even need to comment? You said everything that needs to be said.
Well, then let's move on. Let's move on to Rampage.
There's enough talk has been done. It's
now time for the main
event.
So the first match that took place on Rampage is a match that I have mixed feelings about because I feel like Jungle Boy, it's been stagnant. Jungle Boy has been stagnant, very similar to MJF, where they're originals, they are young, they're up and coming, but they are still in the same place that they were when they started. So Jungle Boy went on to defeat Bobby Fish, who was put out there by Adam Cole to go and take him out because that could not be disputed. Overall, I thought it was a solid match. However, afterwards, Jungle Boys got jumped. And then it took, on both shows, Dynamite and on Rampage, it took the crew that Jungle Boy runs with extremely a long time to come out and save his ass. What the hell are they doing in the back?
I mean, it just showed, to me, this showed a lack of originality in the creative of Tony Khan, in which he basically did the same segment twice in the same week. In which Jungle Boy has a match, Jungle Boy wins that match, gets attacked by Bobby Fish. And the match he was fighting is like the same thing happened. And they're trying to build to a tag match. A tag match. I don't care about this. This isn't like Jungle Boy versus Adam Cole we're building to. This is to a 6-man tag match. Tag match? We talking about tag matches? We ain't building to a 6-man tag matches means nothing to nobody. It means nothing. And they say, but the Survivor Series built around tag. That's whatever that is. That's a once a year pay-per-view. Yeah, it really don't mean nothing either. But I'm just saying, this tag match means absolutely nothing, and they're building to it. This time would have been better spent on the Darby Allin MJF feud, which they decided to forget this whole week of television.
No, they had
like
package.
Wednesday they didn't do anything. I don't care about their little package. Put them in the ring.
That's what she said.
Put them in the
ring. So Manny, what about you? Or should I throw you another question? Because it was something else that happened after this that I was like, what the hell?
Hangman Page looked at the Young Bucks. It was like,
that's what I
y'all
was going
better not interfere.
No, that's what I was going.
Fuck y'all up.
So, Manny, I'll ask you this question since Marcus spoiled it. So,
I didn't know
we have Adam Page that goes back there. Then Adam Cole steps up and like little man, like he be a bodyguard to protect the Young Bucks, and then he walks away. And then
the little man.
The next thing you know, Adam Page apologizes to the Young Bucks for costing them the tag titles and said now that they're even. And then he threatens the Young Bucks to not interfere in this match. This is AEW's way of storytelling. Did you think they accomplished what they were trying to accomplish in that segment?
No, because
Manny?
it's made it fairly obvious that the Young Bucks are getting involved in this. Or if not, planting that there may be a swerve, which I hate when they do that, because they're going to come out and then look like they're going to probably super kick Kenny tonight, and then they're not. They're going to take out Adam Page. I feel it's just lazy. I feel like they've done this before as well numerous times. It's just, I feel like I'm just going to end up being disappointed for this match.
I think I'm going to be disappointed for the match too, but we'll get to that when we get to the match preview. Moving on to continue the disappointment of Rampage, Marcus. Marcus actually corrected me on something because I was under the impression that Santana Garrett left WWE because she kept losing, and then she went because it was a better narrative for me that she did that. However, she was one of the casualties of the many releases that took place. However, AEW picked her up, and they put her in a match against Jane Cargill where she continues to lose. So she is now 0 for 4. But this match was convoluted with Red Velvet being at Red's ringside, had a 3-day-old birthday cake out there that didn't really break apart the way it needed to when they smashed it into the manager. This was so much going on to a match I could care less about seeing Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet. Marcus, this segment, I probably spent too much time on it, and I'm asking you to talk about it also. What did you think?
I feel like we talked about this already. Again, I will say in my Rampage reviews, nothing matters on Rampage. It is the low point of Sunday Night Heat. And I'm not even talking about the hot point of Sunday Night Heat. I'm talking about when it was just on and the main event was Val Venus versus the Matador or something. And I know that's a little different eras and times, but those would be the Sunday Night Heat main events. That's what I feel like when I watch Rampage.
All right, and then we go to the resurgence or the rise of Dante Martin, where he's becoming the hottest commodity in AEW from when he was with Matt Sydal under his tutelage, but he couldn't get that shit done. So he joined Leo Rush's team. Then he fights Daivari this week, and then we have the whole team Taz, who doesn't have a track record of doing anything with anybody except for giving them the FTW championship, but no one else with anything else. But I mean,
it's not the worst. They're the worst team in professional sports.
They might be the worst team.
They're trash.
They're trying to increase their stock, so they go out and they offer Dante Martin a contract and tell him to think about it. Manny, this is a story that they're trying to tell, but I think we could all agree we don't want this story, right? I don't think we want Team Taz to even exist.
I don't want it to exist, and I don't need another Rampage storyline, because this is what it's going to be for Rampage. This ain't going to make Dynamite. This is definitely a Rampage storyline. I don't care about it.
Well, this is one of those stories. Again, it shows the lack of originality in this company. Team Taz's last feud was them trying to recruit Hobbs. And it's the exact same way. It's the exact same storyline they've been in. Or originally they tried to recruit Darby, then they tried to recruit Hobbs. Like, all their stories are recruiting people, and it's not about trying to win nothing. This is a waste of time.
All right, so another waste of time is that we had the wonderful segment with Mark Henry when he welcomed us to the main event. And Orange Cassidy decided to say that, Matt, this is the last time. We ain't doing this shit no more. And I'm like, thank God, because this led to a lumberjobber match, which the match started off with Matt Hardy offering, I believe it was $20,000 for anybody that would whoop Orange Cassidy ass. At that point, instead of anybody getting into the ring fighting Orange Cassidy, they all began to fight each other. And I still don't quite understand what took place right there. But unfortunately, in my notes, I put Orange Cassidy defeated Matt Hardy because that's how I thought it should have went. However, at the end of the day, Matt Hardy got an unnecessary win, and he couldn't even pop the AEW crowd like his brother Jeff did. And I'm just saying, I don't need this anymore in my life. Marcus, is this really going to be the last time we see Orange Cassidy versus Matt Hardy?
Well, Orange Cassidy said it, and, For a company that don't like rematches, they sure rematch this shit like 100 times. I feel
Well,
like
they introduced brass knuckles, Marcus. Brass knuckles were
they've
introduced.
they had a hair versus hair match. We still haven't seen Jack Evans since to get that payoff of what happens when you do have a hair versus hair match. I bet you
Yeah, I
next
know,
time we
right?
see him, his hair, like you're supposed to get the payoff. He's supposed to at least be walking around in a hat. We don't even get that. We didn't even get that. So
You got QT Marshall and his gang out there.
yeah.
The hairy guy and
This was just an extended edition
Dolph
of
Ziggler.
AEW Brawl. Yeah, this is just a brawl. They just had a brawl. This is just a long extended pull apart that they had, in which everybody was involved that normally don't make TV, and who for good reason why they don't make TV. I would have
Even
liked for
Peter
Big Show.
Avalon got kicked off
I would have
the
liked for Big Show to make a run in this one and attack the Gun Club, just
Please
so we
don't.
get some follow up on that. Just so we can get the follow up on
No,
that
there's no
shit.
follow up. It's one of those unsolved mysteries.
Manny, I know they have their full gear preview and all that good stuff, but like for me, honestly, was Matt Hardy, Orange Cassidy the last match that you needed to see going into full gear? Like that.
I mean, if this was the point of like, if this was a selling point for me, then this was the last thing they left in my mind. I'm not buying. If this was Shark Tank, like, I'm out.
Yeah. Because you let this happen, I'm out. But I agree. I feel like they didn't put their best foot forward again on their go home show, and they're thinking everybody's going to stay up late to watch the Full Gear Countdown, which I'm not. They should have had a segment with MJF and Darby. They should have did their contract signing on Friday. They should have stacked it. They have stacked these rampages before. I don't understand why this week they decided, we're not going to have CM Punk and Eddie Kingston actually say anything to each other. We're just going to show old footage. We're not going to have Miro or Bryan Danielson do anything. We're just going to show the clips. These people should have been in the ring, cutting promos, selling me, doing the final hard sell of this pay-per-view, and they had none of their major storyline characters. Instead, they had this stupid-ass lumberjack match, Jay Cargill in a dumbass match, Dante Martin in a useless match that didn't matter. And what was the start of the show? At the start of the show.
Yeah. I mean, I think they would have been better off if they would have just simply did the Full Gear preview special and just incorporated one match that they had already taped. Like, this show did not need to be live for what they gave you. It just seems like it was a waste of resources for what they gave me. And I also feel like that if WWE had did something like this, people would have been already taking them like, get the rope, we're about to hang WWE. And that's where I have this question that I came up with this morning, where I don't know if it really makes any sense. But do people give WWE a hard time because they are viewed more as a corporation as compared to AEW? They're more like hands-on. We're part of the people. We're not a corporation. We don't care about making money. We just want to make you, the fan, happy. Is that maybe why WWE has so much negativity pointed toward their direction, Manny?
It's because WWE, I feel people feel burnt by it every time, because like one of their favorites gets fired or something like that, or things don't go their way and stuff like that, because they're sick of. I think some people are just tired of the same formula WWE seem to use. Whereas AEW, because they seem to think they're flipping the switch and doing things different, it's all the same. But they're watching it with eyes of, at least it's not WWE a lot of the time.
Maybe it's because I'm an old man, or I'm older than some of these new people. I've grew up knowing that you don't get what you always want. Like, it's a fact of life. You don't get everything that you want in life. And there's nothing that you can say that you're entitled. So is it a way that the younger wrestling fan might be a tad bit more entitled to, they want to get who they want pushed? Is that maybe a thing, Marcus?
I don't know what's going on. The wrestling fans suck for the most part. I don't think they watch wrestling or TV the same way. They're like, you see people complaining about Roman beating or putting the crowd on Woods, and they're like, he didn't even win the King of the Ring, and he can stay out the crowd. He just gave it to him. That's what you're supposed to be mad about. He's the heel. You're supposed to be upset about it. Man, the Usos are cheating again. Roman can't do it without the Usos. No shit.
Exactly.
He's a heel.
But But
they're missing the point, and they're building it up. Oh, he hasn't lost in so long, and he's winning these matches. Yeah, they're building it up, so when someone does take him down, it means something.
But Marcus,
and I mean, like wrestling fans complain about every little thing that goes on in the surface, but some things need to not go their way. The heels have to win. It's like watching Star Wars and being happy that they blew up the Death Star in 3 straight movies. The Empire has to strike back.
But I see your point, because like the thing about it, yeah, I didn't know people was pissed about Roman doing what he did, but then
got pissed.
You'll see Matt Hardy cheat to win and beat Orange Cassidy, and no one even bats an eye. Like, that was atrocious. Like,
to be fair, Eric, I don't think anyone's really paying attention to that mid-low level.
Honestly, no one cared. No one cared that the Butcher hit people with brass knuckles.
Manny, 6 months ago, Orange Cassidy might have been the hottest commodity in AEW that they squandered.
No. So much like how me and you like Jacket Time.
Yeah.
I feel there's certain people out there that enjoy Matt Hardy's bullshit with the HFO stuff. So I get it, but like I don't think enough people care about it enough, like we care about Jacket Time, to the point where enough people care about Matt Hardy and whatever he's doing.
Well, you can see
I think Matt Hardy's done. I honestly think Matt Hardy is done in professional wrestling.
I think, in the sad part, I think Jeff got another 2 years to help. Like, literally. Like, the reaction that Jeff gets, she's like, you know what? Go ahead, Jeff. Do your thing.
I think Jeff could do that till he's 50 and still get that reaction.
Yeah. There's some people who are always going to be that guy where you go like, I need this guy. I love
or
this
that
guy.
bitch, as Jay Cargill said.
Yeah, but she ain't that bitch. She's trying to be.
She ain't.
But you can see the AEW fans actually not even like this ending, going like, this isn't supposed to be AEW with the brass knuckle finish. Like they had that confused look of, wait a minute, why is he beating Orange Cassidy?
My favorite bullshit. That just brings me back to my favorite moment when we went to Double or Nothing and that guy was in line. This is not what AEW would do. Like he would know what AEW would do.
It was their first show.
Yeah, it's amazing. So now I think it's time to turn it over to Lord Manny Hayes to talk about the full gear card preview with predictions, and they have a low.
Are you talking like Keith Lee?
Because soon Keith Lee will be in AEW, and he will bore us with his slow and thoughtful, provoking insight on why WWE did not pay his medical
because he's too fat. Medical bills are too high.
Fat ass.
Hey,
because you know who's in charge of medical bills? Scott Steiner. You're fat. You're fat. I'm not bad. You're fat ass in the gym.
Being a fat man with medical bills, yeah, they're a little bit more expensive, man. Every time you look at the paperwork, it says morbidly obese, and I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm going home.
Yeah, because you don't want to pay for that extra day in hospital.
No. Or when they had to lift up the fat in order to put the thing in, like, hey, man, this is your job.
Better enjoy it. I'm getting my money's worth out of this.
Okay, so let's go through that full gear card. It's 10
trash.
Man, he puts 8 trash cans up in 2 matches. One of them on fire. One of these trash cans are on fire. Might be Brit Taikachi.
If you're still in the chat, guess which one is the trash that's on fire.
It could be Punk and Eddie Kingston.
Hey, that's the only match that I'm interested in because of Eddie Kingston.
They can talk you into the match.
Brought into it by a bloody article hero.
Damn, man.
Yeah,
Wait a
minute.
Let me tell you.
As you guys talk about the best moment of wrestling this week, I can't believe I forget. For 2 shows straight, I forgot my favorite moment of wrestling. And it's the parking lot pull apart between Eddie Kingston and CM Punk. And that's when Eddie Kingston does his runs.
Yes. But
because he's running as hard as he could, but you clearly see he's moving in slow motion.
But I also think this might be the first time I had Manny say bloody. Because that's what they teach us in America, that all Englishmen says bloody it is. You were very passionate about that segment to say bloody. Wow, what a moment for me.
I hated that segment was stupid.
What, the parking lot? Because they had no reason to be there. They had no reason to be there.
I'm telling you now, if Ruby Riott can prevent me from attacking someone else, I should stop doing what I'm doing.
Well, no, the reason a smaller woman can attack, and the reason that I learned this in, my many outings at random, smaller women can stop people from fighting because you don't want to throw that smaller woman out the way and injure her. Therefore, you don't look like the bad guy. That's why smaller women always help you.
Well, sometimes you just gotta toss a bitch out the way if you gotta.
No, you can't. You don't want to be the bad guy. Marcus, you don't want to hurt. You don't want to hurt the bad guy.
Marcus, let's be honest. Because we're already, they didn't really want to fight each other, Marcus. This is an old schoolyard stare-off where people are shoulder to shoulder walking side to side because none of them people out there can stop me from whooping their ass. I mean,
that's kind of true.
We saw Eddie Kingston run.
Well, considering how CM Punk does UFC, I'm sure those people can stop him.
I also feel like Eddie Kingston would have pulled out a gun. Like it's a shadow, over.
No. They're not going to Drew McIntyre's limb of attempted murder out
with
in
a sword.
The lot. Yeah.
Jinder Mahal, best year. He went from trying to kill Angela to now dropping beats with Shanky.
Not better than Woods. Woods have a win over the Tribal Chief. I think he got a win over Bobby Lashley.
Oh no, Woods had a good
King
year.
of the Ring. I mean, he's had a hell of a year.
But we got derailed, Manny. Marcus, we got derailed. Manny, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we got the pre-show match of Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa versus Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose. When did Nyla Rose become a part of this?
All I know is that I believe this has something to do with the tournament. I could care less about any of these women. Bring me Serena Deeb.
Now my question is, would this count if Shida gets the win? Would this be her 51 win? Will we give her a trophy for 51 wins this time?
No.
It's not milestone, Eric.
Just saying, I don't know.
Like, who else has nobody else got 50 wins other than her and Jungle Boy?
Man, they're trying to make her be relevant, Marcus. That's what it is.
See, Manny, we should get a trophy, me and Marcus, because while your hiatus on the show led me and Marcus to breaking 150 shows on Thursday because we had to add an extra show in the week.
Shit happens, man.
I want a trophy, Eric.
Manny,
hold on. I think we deserve a trophy for getting that. I think it's about 1,500 views now. The Bianca and Becky episode of the show. For whatever reason, that thumbnail is at like 1,500 views and growing. Why?
For a Saturday show. Yeah, how hard that is.
It doesn't make sense. I want my trophy for that one because it makes no sense that passed the Fiend video dramatically faster.
I'm going to be like the United States Supreme Court in dissent and not actually say anything about this pre-show match because I just don't care.
Nice.
Okay, so
trash.
Recently had Cody Rhodes and Pat.
That's actually a burning dumpster. That gets the burning dumpster award so far. That's one burning dumpster.
No, Marcus, I like to call
Jamie Hayter is the worst wrestler in wrestling right now. I don't care what anybody says.
Marcus, we will give that match the Damian Demento stamp of approval. That is the trash match of the week. There you go. Yeah, there it is.
I watched that match. Whoever Damian Demento is in the ring with right there, I watched before that pre-show match.
That man had giant cotton balls with thread holding his outfit together.
A pinata suit.
So we have Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo.
So my big question for this match, Pac.
I'm sorry.
Andrade.
Why is your question originally just why?
No. Hold on. I was getting there. Pac, Andrade, Malachi Black. And my answer was gonna be why did they leave WWE for this? Like this tag match, this useless ass tag match that means nothing. Recall, this is the same booking they had on the WWE show.
Alistair had no choice in his departure. Andrade did.
Yeah, you do. You're right. But it's the same thing they left WWE for. Meaningless random tag matches they were in.
I just feel like this is an excuse to get Cody.
And hey, Cody.
To get Cody on the show. And I just don't feel like I don't feel like there's any to wear. I just don't feel like there's anything that there's no type of je ne sais quoi about this match. There's nothing that makes you want to say, hey, let me watch this match because I could care less about Andrade, Black, Cody, and Pac. Like,
you know who the most interesting character of all these people in this match involved in this match is?
The referee.
It's been Arn Anderson talking about his Glock. That's been the most interesting person of these 4 people involved.
Go ahead, Eric.
So you brought up Arn Anderson, so I want to go back to the standoff in the parking lot with Eddie Kingston and CM Punk, where Manny said he could not take it seriously that Eddie Kingston couldn't get past Ruby Riott, but I couldn't take it seriously that Brock Anderson was holding back CM Punk. I was like, I ain't seen Brock Anderson in a long time. I was like,
you missed my comment from earlier when I said I've seen CM Punk fight the UFC. I can imagine those guys holding him back.
So
it doesn't matter who wins this match.
I'm assuming Andrade Black wins just because Pac always loses.
When it counts,
Cody
always loses.
Cody wants to be
Cody
cheered.
Gets a win.
Cody wants to get cheered. He can't win 2 times in a row, so he has to lose here tonight.
So we've got the Jungle Friends, the Cage, the Jurassic Express versus the Super Click, Adam Cole and the Young Bucks in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Who the fuck wants this?
Hold on. Now let me go. Let me quote Django Unchained here, in which yes, it was a good idea to put all these guys together in the match. And yes, it is going to probably be a phenomenal match. But the execution to get here could have been a little bit better. Because I don't need the 6-man. It's going to be a good match. It's going to be fun. It's going to be hectic. You're going to get the Young Bucks show thrown in when everybody else is doing their thing.
Ain't nobody going to sell shit. Ain't gonna be no selling. It's gonna be Petterball Sunrise. You get a Petterball Sunrise. You get a Petterball Sunrise. You get a super kick. You get a super kick. That's what it's gonna be.
You get a slow dinosaur kick. And it's gonna be a million things. The crowd's gonna eat it up. Love all of it. It is gonna be here. And I hope everybody has a good time watching it.
Christian's gonna look for something.
Jungle Boy looks for shit now. I hope they find it. Hope they find it.
Manny, what do you think about this match?
I mean, the Super Click's obviously gonna win. It just they need to keep getting these guys over to make the Elite seem strong. So we move into
the most important thing is we're waiting for Kyle O'Reilly to show up and join this and break up the Super Click for the Disputed Era.
Because you know Roddy ain't leaving. Roddy ain't leaving the stable job.
No, Roddy ain't. Not only is Roddy not leaving a stable job, he's not leaving somewhere where he's actually the focal point of a team, where he's the leader. He's like, this is the best it's gonna get, guys. I'm Roderick Strode, damn it. This is the best it's gonna get right here.
So the next match is CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston.
Oh, you calling this some trash already?
No, I was calling the previous match trash.
Oh, okay. What are you calling this one?
I want Eddie Kingston to win, but I know he's not because of the CM Punk contract that he can't lose. So
I think this might be the first one he loses.
Manny, you're being hopeful, man. You know that ain't gonna happen.
Well, someone has to beat CM Punk.
It ain't gonna be Eddie Kingston.
Just as much as someone has to beat Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, and I believe that they're gonna have that go head to head at Double or Nothing. Who's gonna stay undefeated? Bryan Danielson or CM Punk? And that was my Excalibur impersonation of saying that. But no, I got Eddie Kingston losing, CM Punk winning, and I got this being a bad match that people are gonna say is great.
I hope I'm not one of those people.
I think it's gonna be bad.
Not trash.
I think Miro can carry
Eric, if that
Kingston to a
article
better
never
match.
came out this week, you would have not given a shit about this.
Eddie Kingston had no direction until he had Softbound Wrestling, man. And his mom would go and rent VCR tapes from the video stores. Not a Blockbuster, but a video store that had the 18 and under section. I mean, 18 and over section.
18 and under? Whose house are you going to?
18 and over, sir.
The Care Bears, XXX.
Man, you know that probably exists someplace in that
probably exists. I can see a Care Bear with a dildo on his stomach.
Hey man, stop, Marcus. Stop.
Shooting love onto someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Care Bear, stare. It's gross. It's disgusting, but you all see it happening.
I'm telling you now, this joke will be more enjoyable than at least 4 of these matches on that card.
I'm gonna tell you, DJ Shanky was gonna be more enjoyable than 4 of the matches. So where are we at? What's the next one?
Darby Allin versus MJF. I think
it's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a good match. It's gonna probably be match of the show.
I agree it's going to be a good match, but I also understand that it's not going to mean a damn thing. Nothing. They're going to be in the same position that they've always in, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be some type of outside interference from Sting that causes MJF to win, and then Darby and Sting have a bad relationship.
You think Sting's going to turn on Darby Allin?
No, I don't think Sting is going to intentionally turn on Darby Allin. I think Sting is going to make a mistake that costs Darby Allin the match.
Shit. But I do have MJF winning and then moving on to feud with Hangman Page after.
Yeah. The thing is, MJF needs something because he can cut a great promo, but they all are for nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. Anything he does means nothing.
I like how you say he's going to go feud with Adam Page, but I think he'll probably feud with the
Sammy Guevara.
Sammy Guevara, yeah. I think that's the right move for him to go to.
He'd be a good TNT champion.
But then we've got the Inner Circle and Pinnacle shit again.
Manny, it's better than the Inner Circle and this American Top Team shit. I mean, it's like we're splitting hairs right here, man. Like literally, as we're talking about this show, I'm like, I was contemplating paying for it so we didn't have to go through the hassle.
You would pay $50 for this,
and I got money to blow sometimes.
You just said you have 60 for Forza.
What I suggest is getting a decent VPN, claiming you're in the UK, and go to Fight TV and get it for $20.
That's a lot of work.
NordVPN, come at us. I will advertise your shit. Come at us.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me also say, there's still cheaper ways than that. I know a guy. His name is Lincoln. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I think he's called Bernard in the UK. The next match is the Lucha Bros versus FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championships. FTR currently on the payroll of Andrade.
For whatever reason. I think it's gonna be another good match. I got the Lucha Bros winning, but I don't think the Lucha Bros and FTR can miss in a match. I think this is gonna be
this is
one of those gimmies.
This might be the only real wrestling match on the show.
Wait, you're not gonna call Darby and MJF a wrestling match? That's gonna be a wrestling match.
Mark, it's gonna be some theatrics with Mark. I already know what's gonna happen, Marcus.
Darby said he's not gonna do shit.
Warlow's gonna get involved. Sting's gonna come down to the ring. Mark, it's gonna be a overbooked mess.
No, speaking of messes, the Inner Circle versus the Men of the Year and American Top Team. That's gonna be a mess.
Just said again as it becomes dark here.
As I said earlier about dumpster fires, this will get my dynamite into one dumpster, a match burn into the other one, and watch 2 dumpsters burn on fire as this segment happens.
Marcus, I want to point out, you saying that this is a dumpster fire is a little bit too generous. This is just a bag of shit on fire. It don't even get a dumpster, just a bag of shit on your porch on fire. I want nothing to do with this match at all. Trash!
But do you call it... You can't call it trash once you shit in the bag. I don't
on fire, Marcus. Shit in the bag on fire, Marcus. Burning shit. With corn and shit in there.
Don't care about your diet.
So we get Britt Baker versus Tay Conti for the AEW Women's Championship.
Tay Conti wears a gi. I mean, we got that package. She's training in judo. I don't know if it's gonna help her.
No, brilliant jiu-jitsu.
No matter.
She's already done it. That was her previous gimmick in NXT. She does Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
I just hope this match is quick. I hope it's quick.
Well, it's a Britt Baker match, so it's going about 12 minutes, and it's going to be overrated.
Exactly. I agree with that. Then we get the match, the one of the two matches we care about: Bryan Danielson versus Miro. That has been the Battle of the Bad Necks.
And this is for the number 1 contendership, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's to the end of the tournament. I have Miro winning this.
It depends on
Miro
who.
winning.
So the thing is, I think whoever wins this match, because it's going to happen before the main event, will determine who wins the main event. I think if Miro wins, Adam Page definitely takes the title tonight. If Bryan Danielson wins, Omega's retaining.
There's too much going on, especially with Dynamite being in Hangman's hometown. There's too much going on into this, so you never really know.
I got either way. Miro's winning. And I'll tell you why once we get to the end of the show. Haha.
And then we get
I've
got
go Bray Wyatt
Miro
conspiracy
winning.
theory.
Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship.
I have Hangman winning. For the most
I have
part.
Hangman winning.
Just because I don't want to be in agreement with you guys, I'm taking Kenny Omega.
You're
Wow.
a son of a bitch. So my end theatrics, Bray Wyatt comes out the end, reveals himself as Miro's God with Lana.
Mark, I think you have better chance of Bray Wyatt showing up in the Darby Allin match than you have him showing up in the Miro match as God.
Nope, he's just showing up as God. That's what you got. You need to accept it. At the end of the night.
And will he be
Pop the
win him?
crowd.
Like, will he be win him Rotunda? Like, what is his name going to be if he shows up?
God.
No thought into that either.
I've come to the conclusion
No,
that
have any more energy.
we might not be the best trio to preview Full Gear because I think we're already fairly negative on the entire process of the show.
You were the one that suggested potentially doing a watch along of this shit.
I think a watch along with us watching it would be hilarious because I would be extremely negative of what would be taking place. But I also agree that
What if it's good? You gonna still be negative?
I have no confidence of it being good, Marcus.
It's gonna be no. I'm gonna tell you this right now. The matches are gonna be good, but they're gonna mean nothing. Most of them. And by the matches, I mean the FTR Lucha Bros. The main event is probably gonna be good. Darby and MJF is probably gonna be good. And after that, and Miro and Bryan Danielson is gonna be good. Do I need 5 hours? No. The rest of the shit on this show, this Dynamite shit that you could just put on Wednesday nights or on Rampage, that could have just stayed there. Whether it's Ty Conti and Britt Baker or the Super Click versus the Jurassic Express or whatever they call themselves these days with Christian. It's just been. I feel like we had that match like 20 times already.
I would love for the Jurassic Express to turn on Christian. I would like that. I would be intrigued by that. But
I don't think I need that either.
I don't know if I need anything from this card. I think I was okay with what they give me on Dynamite and Rampage. It's like I don't like $50 is a lot of money.
It is, which is why I don't think it's worth it if they've only managed to sell you on 2 matches. Like, it's very different if you're on a subscription on Peacock or the WWE Network where it's only $9.99.
$50 is a
completely
hard
different
pill.
to dropping $50 for something that some of it piques your interest.
And then honestly, and this is just the hater in me because last time they had a show, I paid the money for it. I don't like increasing their numbers. I don't like them thinking that they're doing a good job in the Eric Smith household. I don't want them to think that they're really getting Eric and say, I
They don't even track. They don't even track your numbers. No, again, you got way too much hate in your heart that you think your one view matters.
No, it's like the motherfuckers from the Clippers calling me like, "Hey, I saw that you attended a Clipper game. Do you want to have some season tickets?" Nah, man. Nah.
So with Bray Wyatt showing up tonight, by the way, because he is. Who's he more likely to attack? Who you got as him attacking?
Darby Allin.
Malachi Black.
Okay, I got Cody himself. It's always Cody. It's always Cody.
Well,
Cody beats Malachi, and then here comes Bray Wyatt.
well, let's put it this way. I think that's the match where if he shows up, he shows up. Because why not be linked with Malachi, Andrade, and Bray? And you get to destroy Cody. I think everything it would be right.
So what would their team name be? The class of 2021 of releases.
Budget cuts. The budget cutters. They do the scissors. You know.
like this.
Not.
That's what they did.
Right.
They scissored, man.
By the way, while you were making your point, you did miss that. I tell you, that was probably on AEW Blacked, which was on Pornhub when we were talking about it earlier.
Kawhi is not enough for me to want to get season tickets for the Clippers because who knows when he's going to play.
We talking about Paul George is the reason. He's the MVP of the NBA right now, and everybody's underappreciating this man's greatness right now.
I can't say
and I'm normally a man that talks shit about PG-13. And yes, you can talk all the shit you want about him in the playoffs, but that man is carrying this team to victory. Right now, tonight, we have a chance to take the number 3 spot in the West if we defeat the Timberwolves after the Lakers struggled with that bum-ass team last night.
I can't say shit about that. That was bad. All I can do is, that didn't even work. Damn.
Yep. Ah, your old tricks don't work, sorcerer.
There it is.
Eric, old time say, do the one I like.
Which one is that one?
The one that sounds like a rainbow.
Oh,
dude.
So unfortunately, Betty, that rainbow was actually an eCams.
Oh.
Yeah, that was an eCam one.
What about Kiss My Grits?
I deleted that a long time ago. Apparently, what I have on this thing, I don't even know what these are. I have Britt Baker. Don't know what that is.
I have
an Adam Cole. And I have Vince.
Oh, that was when me and Marcus squared off against who had the better promo that week.
Oh, yeah.
So what is
How
the Vince?
long ago was that?
At least 2 months. What is Vince?
You don't have the Cody promo no more?
No, what is Vince
when he's saving black people? I don't know.
Where the hell have you been? Oh, okay. Okay. I was wondering what that one was. No, I deleted those things, man.
But you kept the Vince. Where the hell have you been?
No, I just had deleted because I don't use the sound bank as much as I should.
That's when he sees all his released wrestlers on AEW. Where the hell have these guys been?
I mean, maybe if we have more as we move forward, if Manny tells me some sound that I should put Q up on the ones and twos, I can do it. So I could be like DJ Shank. Can
I recommend Tony D'Angelo just to annoy Manny and say forget about it every single time Manny talks bad about Tony D'Angelo?
Manny, you don't like Tony D'Angelo?
No, I don't understand why he's over, and I want to kill him.
But Manny, you seem like you don't like Tony D'Angelo because he's over, not because of anything that Tony D'Angelo did.
I don't understand.
Well, he hasn't did anything. Why are they cheering him? It's a mystery.
He hasn't done anything. Why is he so over?
Eric. All right, so I'm gonna say this is the dumbest segment of the week, and I do not know. We may have talked about Duke Hudson and stuff, but this was on NXT as well, which is a show I think I turned on.
Are you talking about lashing out when he beat up the production agent?
No. I'm going to the deep cut of NXT this week. Eric, what the hell is the Grizzly Young Veterans doing? Explain to me what they did. Explain to me what they're doing.
They ain't been to the pay window in a long time, so they need to go rob Uber Eats to eat, man. Like, I know.
What the fuck was that?
But do you know what I don't understand about that? Because they clearly gave the phone back. The guy didn't see it and cancelled the order.
Well, you can't just go back to your menu and it stays over there, but I feel like there'll be a message, your food's on the way. The fuck?
I don't know what was more confusing. The MSK try to go to the training facility and it not being open, and they said, "Oh, we're gonna go back to our houses and clean up," or the Grizzled Young Veterans stealing people's food.
Stealing people's food because it made no sense. Food.
Yeah, that was just the confusion. Like, why are they doing this?
But
So
Drake
Marcus
sure
is
did
com-
eat that chicken wing, man. That chicken wing looked delicious.
If you're gonna distract a man, you can distract the rep. It's what I learned from it. And I was like, what are we getting at here?
For me, I wanted to combine that segment with Chase U because that's definitely a Chase U University kind of class. But it raised the question on Thursday: have you ever ate chicken wings in a suit? Because I have.
As a black man, I refuse to answer that question. That's like asking me if I ever ate watermelon in a suit. None of your damn business.
Yeah, but here's the question.
I think watermelon in a suit is far more messier than eating wings in a suit.
We did gloss
Not
over
if you
Trick
got
Williams.
the sticky icky wings.
We did gloss over Trick Williams this week, talking about someone mama being a bobblehead and daddy a bum and
No,
just
daddy a
trying to get so
bootlegger.
much. Your daddy a bootlegger, your mama's a bobblehead, and you a bum. So like, he gonna get somebody killed with those words.
You just don't hang out with Trick because you gonna get your ass kicked because of Trick. That's simple as that. I don't trust Trick's the rabbit, and I don't trust Trick who hang out with Mello. That man ain't got his back.
Can we not talk about Trick's Rabbit? He is still banished from the WBF after his loss to Tony the Tiger. He is still banished. But,
How's that honey monster doing though?
The Honey Monster is really doing well, and he sells a lot of t-shirts. I didn't realize that he also sells his hat with the eyes at the on top of it. He's really doing well in the merchandise department. Oh, but things are going well. The big pay-per-view is coming up at the end of the year. The Big Bowl of Cereal, which will be the main event.
The BBOC.
BBC.
The BBOC. The Big Bowl of Cereal. The Bebop.
The BBC. The Big Bowl of Cereal.
No, not the
Big Bowl
BBC,
of
Manny. That is something different. It's the BBOC. You got to put the O in
No,
there.
I'm leaving the
The sad part.
No, you
The
don't.
bad part, I wanted to call it the Big Cereal Bowl. But I totally messed it up.
The BCB? Nah, dog,
It's the Big Cereal Bowl.
It's the BBOC, not the BBC, Manny. Stop being nasty.
We're like TNA. We're just trying to get the tits and ass audience.
And tune into the Big Bowl of Cereal Bowl for
Oh,
that.
I got the wrong show. Damn it. Man, so
I
watch
can't
the
wait
Big
for-
Cereal.
I can't wait for AEW Dynamite to be moved again, so we can go back to the WBF for a special episode.
Did Jamal like BBOC? Tell you. Big Bowl of Cereal.
Big Bowl of Cereal. It's coming out at the end of the year. Should be a big show. The card is subject to change. I don't think there's an actual card there.
I hear
we know
Almond
Trick-
Milk is trying to get onto the card, Marcus.
Almond milk is banned. The Battle of the Milks should have a card. Soy, almond,
Coconut.
coconut. Just dairy. Just dairy. B squared OC.
So I think this is where the show should end.
Yeah, it fell apart somewhere in between Full Gear.
Well, Mike, what you
It fell
said
the
apart- it fell
BBC.
apart in the preview. We should have never previewed this thing because we clearly
Well,
don't care about it enough.
Betty, if we had never previewed, we might not never got the Big Bowl of Cereal at the end of the year. That might replace the Christmas special, the Big Bowl of Cereal event.
Oh, I was going to. Me and Benny were talking about that. Do you guys want to do the Christmas Carol read along or another play? I know Shantae sent some out last year
Oh no.
that we can actually do. That we can actually plan. We actually have time instead of 2 days before Christmas.
So what you're saying is we can film it like the tribute to the troops. Shantae, they would like to know.
She's in
And
the
I
room
already-
this whole time.
I already know the answer.
Hey, Marcus wants to know.
Marcus wants to know, do you want to record another Christmas special? She said, of course, with no hesitation.
Didn't even finish the sentence. Of course. Didn't even finish the sentence.
Okay. Ask Shantae which one she wants to do.
Which one
She's
do you
in
want to
charge.
record?
She's the director of this.
Which
It's your
Christmas
production.
play do you want to do?
We're going to call it the Shantae production. She can come up with whatever play, and we're trying to cast even more
Because you
characters
provided
than we
so
can.
many last year, so they're leaving it to you to produce whatever Christmas play we're gonna do. So we'll find out. So stay tuned for whatever Shantae selects.
Man, we can even put a big cast together. If you want to be a part of our Christmas special, just, email the sharpshooters at gmail.com. Or if you have any comments, just leave them in the comment section. or comment on
basically replacing the
gmail.com.
quiz because nobody really watched that, and I'm
The
disappointed.
quiz got good views. The quiz got good views. It was
I still feel I was
132.
cheated.
It
I
was
was
just a
cheated.
bunch. It just I had no competition.
Many questions was racially biased.
I'm black. I'm your half brother. We grew up technically together.
We grew apart though, man. We grew apart. You went to you embraced your Sheely side more than the Stevenson side of you, man.
Yeah. You enjoy your fishing side and living in houses and not living in poverty. All right, the Steve's living in poverty. You not suffering poverty, but you lived in your mansion.
We already got someone
mansion,
already
man.
in there. You're more wants to be part of it.
Can I just be the guy that shake the bells like shit like that?
No, well, Manny has an English accent, so he gets to be narrator.
Oh, damn. Shantae made fun of my shaking the bells. I'm never doing that one again. See, Jamal wants the quiz back. He wants the quiz.
Oh, maybe we do it with different audience, Manny. Because it's unfair. It's unfair for me because everybody think it's rigged that I just remember a bunch of useless shit throughout the year.
Remember to pay rent, motherfucker.
I always pay rent on time. My problem is Ryan. You know, that's the problem.
I mean, Jamal is gonna be a better opponent because he is a wrestling encyclopedia.
He watches everything and knows everything.
And Manny, I think
honestly, Jamal probably should be the host of the quiz because he's the most Alex Trebeckian of all of us in the mid-card mess.
Manny, I think we should do it a little different if we're going to do the quiz. I think the quiz should be broken up into 5 stages where you let's say Marcus goes against Jamal first with the questions, and then he competes to the next person that challenges him with the questions.
No tournament.
AEW does a tournament.
We ain't AEW.
You know you would choke, Marcus.
We tell stories on our show.
The only wrestling company that we are close with is the World Breakfast Federation.
Yes.
They're the only ones that let us in. They're the only ones that let us through that forbidden door.
And I have on good note that Trixie Rabbit is trying to get you guys shut down. He has injunctions and everything filed against the Royal Breakfast Federation.
He lost fair and square. Okay? Silly rabbit.
He was under the impression that it was Hulk Hogan week, and since Tony the Tiger is like the Hulk Hogan of the wrestling breakfast,
he's the tribal chief. He's the tribal chief. All right, you don't know what this man does for the community. Tony the Tiger feeding all types of families.
If anything, he's a macho man of. Oh yeah,
they're great.
So Manny, since we're in the pit list of no ending the show, is it ways that we can play against each other in Forza?
I don't think so. I think there's a co-op where you race each other. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, okay.
Well, guys, I believe it's time to end the show. That seems like a post-discussion. Stay tuned for the product where we have a quiz, maybe a play, and who other knows what holiday content. Maybe we'll do the BWBF live episode of interviews.
No, stay tuned when we figure out how to beat the most viewed video on the Shadow, the Bianca Belair.
We're never beating that. We're never beating that. Have you seen the thumbnail for that? We have never beaten that.
Manny, there was a time where you said, and I quote, "We will never beat the Fiend video." And guess what happened? The Fiend video was destroyed.
But we don't know how any of this happened. We can't recreate this.
JK Swish says, "I don't want the smoke." I probably don't because I haven't played Forza since Forza 2. But it might be fun to play. Since I do have it, since I upgraded to Game Pass.
Welcome to Game Pass.
Well, I was paying for my Xbox membership, and Manny, if you remember way back when, that's when I started paying for it. When we were supposed to try to do some type of for the Battlegrounds, WWE Battlegrounds game, that we was like, no, that's all right.
Well, when WWE 2024 ever come out, because 22 is never coming out because they had to delete the entire roster.
So I was playing a really boring game, but it was very therapeutic while I was trying to download Forza. 100 gigabyte download.
Manny, I will not tell you how quickly Forza downloaded for me. I will not say that. I will not flex on anybody right now. But Jamal, my username is Montech. Please do not judge me. Montech. If you send me a friend request, we can be friends.
Montech.
Yes. I believe that's what it is. I don't think I paid the money to change.
Make that change.
Marcus doesn't have a gamer tag because he doesn't play games.
Oh, he
actually
does.
do.
He does. I bought him an Xbox like 3 years ago. He could get into this Forza shit if he wanted to, but he don't play games.
I don't play games with nobody. All right? I don't play games, baby. I don't play games. Especially with my money. I don't play games with my money.
Now you sound like Trick.
I don't play games with my money. All right, can we end this show? It's already 2.5 hours. We need to cut it off.
I'll play anyone at FIFA. Destroy
Fuck you, Manny. Ain't nobody playing you in FIFA. Ain't nobody doing that shit.
I'll play you in baseball, Manny. I'll show you up in the show.
I don't think that would be a thing. I think the only fair thing would probably be Madden, because ain't nobody has touched Madden God knows how long. And Marcus, we also know.
Are you talking about the man of the game?
Marcus, we also know, Marcus, you ain't gonna play shit. We know this already.
Yeah,
you ain't playing nothing.
I told you I don't play games. I mean, my whole job is to play games, but I don't play games.
All right, I'm Eric.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And I'm Marcus, the grand finale. And 2 Bray Wyatt attack Cody Rhodes. Stay sharp.